Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simeon Adaramola, and I'm your host for today's, NIA Innovation Lab Demo Day. I can see a lot of smiling faces. I can see a lot of MDs, a lot of COOs, CTOs. You're all welcome for this event. I'll just go right into it because we're about 5-10 minutes past time. Um, so I'd just like to, welcome people to the high table, and I'll just do that with the list I have here. Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome Mrs. Ebelechuku Unwachuku, the Deputy Chair of the NIA MD and also MD CEO of Rex Limited. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Also, I think he's currently absent, but once he's here, I will definitely bring him up to the I table also. I'll just move on to the next person. I'll also be welcoming Mrs. Bola Odukale, the DG CEO of Nigerian Insurance Association. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much, ma. Okay, thank you very much, ma. And also, I think he's also absent. I'm not sure, but I'll just say his name. Mr. Idowu Akinde, the MD Impact Hub. Can we also give him a round of applause if he's anywhere around? Okay. Thank you very much. And also, I'll be welcoming Mrs. Ekoma ACB, the president of NCRIB, ably represented by Dr. Simon Ozo Okeke. Good morning, sir. You're welcome to the high table. So please. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, for the honor. Okay. Just heading right into it. I know I know we all know why we're all here today. We're here for the NIA Innovation Lab Demo Day. I know some of us were here for the pitch day a couple of weeks ago also, and now we can see, the fruits. That's borne fruits, and I'll just go right into a brief. So on behalf of the organizing team, a 12-man committee who are present here, I welcome you all warmly to the NI Innovation Demo Day, a gathering that celebrates creativity, technology, and the future of insurance in Nigeria. Today is more than just a showcase. It's a statement of intent that the insurance industry is ready to embrace new ideas, new solutions, and new possibilities. Right here, as I mentioned earlier, we have industry leaders, we have innovators, we have founders, we have regulators, we have investors, and we have partners who are all united by one vision to move the insurance industry forward. Throughout today's event, you experience groundbreaking presentations, product demonstrations, and conversations that highlight how innovation is reshaping, the claims, also KYC, and then the wild card, the agricultural sector. So everyone who has taken time to be here, thank you very much. Your presence is a powerful sign that remains a strong driver for us, to progress in the insurance industry. And as your host, I'm excited to welcome you again. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll just run through some of the key things we have today. We have the pitch session, very important. We also have a panelist session that I would love. Particularly, I'm very interested for that particular, session. Then we have remarks from our able organization. Sorry, just yes, 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 I will. Yes. Thank you very much. I left a big thing. Okay, I also want to recognize some other council members to the high table. I would like to recognize Mrs. Rashida Tadebisi, CCO. Yeah, highlight on the high table. Thank you very much, Ma. And I also like to recognize some of our deletable MDs currently sitting. I can see Mr. Tunde Mimiko, the MD Sanlam Alliance Life. You're welcome, sir. Also a member of the Governing Council, NIA. You're very welcome, sir. Thank you very much. So we'll just be going right into it as much as our guests are coming. We'll definitely also still welcome them to the high table. Thank you very much. So let's be going right into it. We have the NIA's address, to highlight the insurance industry's commitment to innovation. And this would be done by Mr. Kunle Ahmed, chairman of NIA, ably represented by Deputy Chairman of NIA, Mrs. Ebelechuku Unwachuku. Can we give her a round of applause? You're very welcome, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
Good morning. Um, I
I
stand
stand
here
here
representing
representing
the chairman of the NIA, who is unavoidably absent, and I welcome you all to today's event. It promises to be an exciting one. I'm going to be reading his speech to us this morning.
Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, innovators, partners, friends of the Nigerian insurance industry, members of the press and media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with great pride and optimism that I welcome you all to the 2025 NIA Innovation Lab Demo Day. Today, we gather not only to showcase groundbreaking ideas, but also to reaffirm the insurance industry's unwavering commitment to innovation as the cornerstone of our future. Insurance has always been about trust, resilience, and protection. Yet, in today's rapidly evolving world, these values must be developed through new channels, technologies, and mindsets. Innovation is no longer optional. It is the lifeblood of relevance in a digital economy, encompassing technology integration from AI to blockchain. Insurers are leveraging cutting edge tools to enhance transparency, streamline claims, and personalize customer experiences. Customer centric solutions. We are moving beyond traditional policies to offer flexible digital first products that meet the needs of a new generation
Generation
of
of
consumers.
consumers,
Data
data
driven
driven
insights.
insights,
Big
big
data
data,
and
and
predictive analytics are enabling us to anticipate risks, design smarter products, and improve underwriting accuracy. The NIA Innovation Lab was established as a hub for creativity, collaboration, and experimentation. It is a space where ideas are tested, partnerships are forged, and solutions are scaled for startups and insurers collaborations, talent development, practical impact. This is what this innovation hub is about. Our commitment to innovation is not a slogan, it is a pledge to invest in research and development that keeps us ahead of global trends, champion regulatory frameworks that encourage experimentation while protecting our consumers, build resilience in the face of climate change, cyber risks, emerging global challenges. We envision an insurance industry that is inclusive, digital, and adaptive, one that empowers individuals, businesses, and communities to thrive in the face of uncertainty. In closing, as we witness the demonstrations today, let us remember that innovation is not about technology alone, it's about people. It's about building trust, expanding access, and creating solutions that matter. Together, let us ensure that the Nigeria insurance industry remains a beacon of progress, resilience, and innovation. Thank you and welcome to the future of insurance. Kunle Ahmed, Chairman NIA. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Can we give a round of applause again for the NIA for that? Thank you very much, Ma, for that. Just moving, I want to recognize some of our distinguished guests again. Mr. Edeki Isuje, MD CEO, Custodian Alliance PLC, also the governing NIA. You're welcome, sir. I also welcome the MD of Leadway Assurance, Mr. Boye Galeshi. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Just to push on also in the agenda, we'll be having an opening remark, by our amiable DG, Mrs. Bola Odukale, and also CEO of NIA. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, our distinguished ladies and gentlemen. the chairman of NIA, ably represented, and also in her personal capacity here, the deputy chairman, Mrs. Ebele Chukunwa Chuku. Good morning, madam. Good morning to every one of us here, and thank you very much for being here today. Yeah. So, in actual fact, I'm standing in for the chairman of the Innovation Lab 2025, the NI Innovation Lab 2025. There's actually a chairman, for the committee that worked on this project, and that person is no other person other than Mr. Babatunde Fajemirokun. That's the MD CEO of Aiko Insurance. He's coming a bit late, so I'll just be taking his place, and of course, I'll be reading his speech. So my voice is my voice, but what is here is his own speech. So thank you very much. Once again, distinguished guests, our industry leaders, our innovators, our colleagues, our distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and a deep sense of responsibility that I welcome you all to this day, the 2025 NI Innovation Lab Demo Day. Today marks a significant milestone in our collective journey to reshape the future of insurance in Nigeria. Reflecting on the state of insurance innovation in Nigeria, what happened was early this year, the Nigerian Insurance Association conducted the 2025 Innovation Lab survey across the industry, to the CEO, through the CEOs, which provided valuable insights into the current state of our industry. The survey revealed encouraging progress as far as technology is concerned in our industry. It shows that insurers are increasingly adopting digital channels, exploring microinsurance solutions, and of course, leveraging data analytics to better understand our customer needs. Yet, it also highlighted persistent challenges, low penetration that we have within the industry, trust deficits, and the need for more customer-centric products from our industry. These findings remind us that while we have made some significant strides, so much work still remains to be done to fully unlock the potentials of insurance as a driver of financial solution, financial inclusion, and of course, economic resilience. So in view of that, we at the NIA, we then talked about what would we then do after these findings. And that was the beginning of the birth of the NI Innovation Lab. It was established as a collaborative platform to accelerate the transformation of our industry. It is designed to nurture our ideas, incubate solutions, and also provide a safe place for experimentation amongst us. By bringing together insurers, regulators, technology partners, startups, this lab fosters co-creation and ensures that innovation is not just a buzzword amongst us, but a practical pathway to delivering affordable, accessible, and of course, relevant insurance products to our teeming customers out there. So what has happened so far is that since the inception of the Innovation Lab, we had to host idea sessions, hackathons, and of course, capacity building workshops. We have seen promising prototypes emerge through these different programs. We have seen solutions that would leverage artificial intelligence for claims processing, which is a key, a very key part of, our entire output as an industry. That is what defines us and what we are able to do as far as our customers are concerned. Then, of course, the mobile first platforms for reaching the undeserved communities. These initiatives demonstrate the creativity and resilience of our ecosystem and also affirm that Nigerian insurance can indeed uh, be realigned, be reimagined to meet the demands of the digital age today. So today, we have arrived at the climax of this journey. And that is why we say today is our demo day. So we call it Demo Day 2025. Today, we will witness the unveiling of innovative solutions that have been developed within the lab. These are not just concepts, they are practical tools that are designed to address real challenges in our markets. Our demo day is more than a showcase, it is a celebration of our collaboration, of our ingenuity, and the bold vision of those who believe that insurance can be a catalyst for inclusive growth. So, in closing, I will say as we begin, I engage with open minds to challenge the assumptions and to support the innovators who are daring to chart new paths. Together, we can ensure that insurance in Nigeria evolves into a sector that is dynamic, trusted, and of course, indispensable to our nation's prosperity. On behalf of the Nigerian Insurance Association and the Innovation Lab Committee, I welcome you warmly to this landmark event. Let us make today a turning point in the story of insurance innovation in Nigeria. Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. For and on behalf of Mr. Babatunde Fajemirokun, Chairman 2025 NIA Innovation Lab Committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma, our amiable DG, for that. Can we give a round of applause again for that speech? Thank you very much, Ma. Okay, I also like to call on Adedamola Oloko, Aksa Mansad. Oloko, I'm so sorry, pardon me. Damola, okay, he just wants to touch a few things also. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for coming this morning, being a part of the first ever demo day for the NIA Innovation Lab. My job has been made quite easy by the DG. Just wanted to give a bit of context as to what exactly the Innovation Lab is and why we are going, the NIA embarked on this journey. Next slide. Okay, sorry, I have, all right. Okay, yeah, so the insurance industry the landscape is shifting, and you have customer expectation. For many of us who are here in the industry, you see that there's a lot more expectations from the customer beyond years before, and key things that are being expected: speed, transparency, a lot of digital engagement as well. How do we sort of meet with these needs? One of the things that is interesting is that there are people today who are potentially your customers, who are even your customers, that the life that they ever knew is digital, right? They're born into the digital age. How do you serve those customers and remain relevant? Some expectations as well from NIRA as regards digital engagements and helping our customers better enjoy our services. And then the regulator as well, very keen on leveraging technology and innovation to drive some of these initiatives. Like the DG mentioned, there was a survey that was carried out earlier in the year, and key findings from this, you see, 87% of the leaders who responded to that survey mentioned that they are ready to collaborate on shared innovation solutions, right? Key topics that were made priority from that survey: customer experience. How do we improve customer experience? Again, this is pointing out where for some of these leaders, for people who responded, where are the pain points in our businesses? Customer experience is definitely one. Customer acquisition, KYC, and then distribution. And what the feedback was is, how can we leverage innovation to really solve some of these problems? So for any innovator in the room, um, these are some of the areas that remain pain points for insurance companies. So whatever you're building, have this as sort of like ethos or background so that you can solve a problem that actually exists. Um, in terms of specific initiatives, initiatives around fraud management, EKYC, and a sort of claims exchange emerged as the most promising areas where um, we saw that they wanted to work together. So how do we ensure that we're able to better manage fraud, do some KYC a lot better, easier, faster, cheaper as well? And then in terms of leveraging innovation and just driving some of these things, the biggest barriers that were noted is the cost of implementation, regulatory constraints, return on investment, right, for innovation initiatives, and resistance to change. All of this sort of gave birth to the NI Innovation Lab and informed what the focus generally has been, right? And the Innovation Lab is generally, again, a collaborative engine for solving industry-wide challenges, and it just positions as an innovation sandbox, right, where we can, accelerate some digital transformation that cuts across everyone in the industry, and we can co-create some of these solutions. Key focus on solving shared challenges, like we mentioned. Those What are those things that cuts across everybody? How can we jointly solve those problems? It's also an opportunity to attract top innovators, right? How do we get people who have solved some of the problems within the banking space, the health space, to come and solve some of the problems within the insurance industry? There are some players already in the insurance industry as well. How can we put these real problems in front of them to have them help us or go on a journey with the industry to solve it? And the main goal, right, is to build solutions that can be tested and scaled across the insurance industry. So yes, we are having demo day today, but the journey doesn't end here. I can somehow say maybe it's just the beginning, because there are a lot of engagements that's still going to happen afterwards. So these are the innovators that are that part of the program this year. We have my cover.ai, who is working on the claims exchange. We're starting with motor insurance. So the claims database, a central platform where we can see claims data for all of our customers. And then on the underwriting side, you can make, informed decision. On claim side as well, you can make decisions a lot better because of that shared view of data. I'm sure that once the demo starts or the pitches start, you'll be able to see some of the things that they've done already. We have Railway as well, who they are playing within the agric space, and they have a software, a solution that speaks to climate resilience, and they're looking to work with insurers to better serve smallholder farmers and players within the agric value chain. We have Simfix playing within the identity management area, and they came into the program to work with the industry on an EKYC solution. And so I'm sure that they'll share that as they come up. And then last but not least, we have Bonds. Bonds is a customer engagement platform. How can the big question for them was, how can they help the industry better manage communication and engagement with customers, and how can we improve that to drive retention, loyalty, and things like that. Yes, a lot of activities during the past 6 weeks, workshops, office hour sessions, also technical sessions with some committees within the NIA, and also mentors. Please, I want to just, please, let's appreciate the mentors who works with each of these. We want to say thank you very much, because I think this is very important, because you need the context. I don't know if we have worked with innovators at different times. One of the biggest gap that exists is the gap between, oh, this is my solution, and the actual problem. right? And that's where the mentors came in. They are subject matter experts. That's their field, and so we mapped them accordingly and said, okay, give them the guidance that they need to build a solution that would actually work, right? So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, and also thank you to the insurance companies that opened their doors as well to sort of have office hour sessions, engagement with these innovators to just share thoughts and ideas and guide them as well. In terms of what next, like I mentioned, um, it's a combination of a lot more engagements, but the main thing is we want to test and pilot solutions. And so you can scan the QR code and just keep the form on your phone open. When the pilots start rolling in, what we are asking is, are you interested in partnering with any of these innovators? Are you interested in running a pilot with them as well? We definitely need to work with insurers. So this is a way for you to signify that interest, and we definitely look forward to that. This is a team that has been working on the insurance side, and our partner as well on the NIA side to bring this to life. Like it was mentioned, this is the first ever innovation lab, and I want to say a big thank you as well to the chairman of the NIA for the opportunity for us all to serve. So we have the Innovation Lab Steering Committee led by Mr. Babatunde Fajemirokun. And we have the working committee as well that has also been working closely with the implementation partner, Impact Hub Lagos, to ensure that the program is successful and we are where we are today. Like I said, the work for us is not this is not the end. I think it's just the beginning. What is important for today is I want to show, just like the DG mentioned, I want to show what they have done so far and why you should partner with them, and then also go on a pilot journey as well. So thank you very much. Thank you very much again, once again for coming, and I look forward to our engagements and questions and contributions throughout the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Damola. Let's give him a round of applause again. Thank you very much. Um, just to recognize again some of our distinguished guests, I'd also like to recognize Mrs. Yetude Lori, President CIN. Can we give her a round of applause, please? You're welcome, ma. And if I don't do this one, I don't know. I'd like to welcome our regulator, Mr. Ahmed Metidine, Innovation of NICOM. You're welcome, sir. Can we give a round of applause? You can come to the high table, please. You're coming up, but just come to the high table, please, first. Thank you very much. Okay. Is the one coming up next? Yes, let's give a round of applause again. Thank you very much. Okay, so just be calling on, I'll just call on Mr. Ahmad, Innovation of NICOM, to give us, perspective, NICOM's perspective on this industry-wide innovation initiative. Thank you very much. Let's welcome him again as he comes to give us that briefly. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ahmed. I'm from the Innovation Hub National Insurance Commission. I wasn't expecting to talk this morning, so I was ambushed and I guess I thought I would be here in the back seat just to observe, but it seems like NIA wants me to work for my lunch. Okay, I'll try my best. So let me, on behalf of the Commission and the National Insurance Commission in general, welcome all of you to this grand occasion, NIA Innovation Lab. The Commission, that's the management, takes this innovation thing very seriously. And this is why we created the Innovation Hub. It wasn't there initially. We're first to open the Innovation Hub. And as you all know, or we all know, we have been working with FSD Africa and UNDP, and as a result of that collaboration, Nigeria, we have been able to release the innovation Showtech guidelines. Sorry, Showtech guidelines and the sandbox, and I think we're just about 2 or 3 African countries that have done that so far. So I think we've really gone far in trying to lay the foundation for innovation in Nigeria. I'd also like to, point out that population, I think about 250 plus or so, about 70% of that population are youth. And with that, you know that the use of internet is large. Out of that 250 plus million, we have about 100 million internet users. So this is a good breeding ground for innovation right now. And I think I'd like to encourage everyone, to take advantage of this time to really develop on this InsurTech and innovation platform that the NIA is providing. Thank you very much. Sorry, I did not. I should have started with protocol and everything. So please let me stand on already exist protocol. I apologize for that. Thank you very much. So again, on behalf of the Commissioner and the National Insurance Commission, I welcome you to this grand occasion. Let me not take much of your time. We wish you success in this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmad. Can you give me a round of applause again? Thank you very much. So we're just going right into why we came, and that's the pitch session. I'll just run through, and before I run through, lest I forget, I'd like to welcome a member, just acknowledge a member of the Governing Council, Mr. Olalekan Oyinlade, MD CEO of EMPU General, Governing Council NIA. Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. So we'll go right into the pitch session. The pitch session is 15 minutes each. Each start has about 9 minutes to pitch and 6 minutes for question and answers that is open to everyone to ask them. So I'll just be going right and calling first startup that's into pitch, which is Realway. They are online. I don't know if we're ready for them. Are we ready for Realway? I'm ready. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Actually, we're trying to put him on. So there'll be questions after this, so we can listen able to write our questions and definitely ask them. I know we had a lot of questions to ask. I think I'll ask one too, if I have the mic to. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Please call me if you can see my screen.
Okay, yes, we can see your screen. You're welcome. You have 9 minutes,
Okay.
9 minutes to pitch, and then 6 minutes for question and answers. So your time
All right.
starts now. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Uh, Unfortunately, I am unable to be in Lagos for this event. It's been an awesome couple of weeks, and today I'm going to be sharing with the people present what we've been doing at Rewe and how our solution is beneficial to the entire insurance value chain in Nigeria. I am Chigo from Rewe, and we are building the operating system for climate resilience and rural finance. It's an integrated interoperable infrastructure that helps banks and insurance companies de-risk rural markets using climate intelligence, real-time data, and blockchain. Agriculture is Africa's largest economic sector. However, it loses over $15 billion each year to data gaps and broken financial rails that are not designed for the last mile. Banks can't quantify risk, insurance companies can't price it, and farmers remain invisible to formal finance and protection. Meet Musa, a farmer in rural Kaduna. For him, insurance is a myth, really disputes and delays. It's expensive and also out of reach because most farmers live far from cities, they lack bank accounts, they lack financial literacy or records to prove who they are and what they own. Banks lack reliable data to scale rural services. So lending becomes guesswork. Um, so get lending becomes guesswork. Insurance companies can't verify risk exposure or claims. So they have overpriced premiums, avoid rural markets entirely. And so when the floods come, Musa loses everything. His livelihood, care for his family, become creditors. But that's not all. Insurance companies also miss out on a multi-billion-dollar market simply because they can't reach Musa. So the problem is just access. It's a lack of visibility. Without climate and local intelligence and localized data, finance and insurance cannot flow to the rural markets. And so risk remains on price, on banks, and uninsurable. But we are changing that. Before I tell you how, I'll let our numbers I'm talking. We've helped our bank partners cut down loan defaults from 87% to 20%. We've helped our insurance partners reduce policy issuance time from 2 minutes to from 2 weeks to under a minute. All of these are powered by our climate intelligence infrastructure, the backbone for scalable, low-risk rural finance. Now to fun part. At Rewe, we know the what, the when, the who, and the where. Using Earth observation data, hyperlocal intelligence, AI, and machine learning, we model climate risk per location pattern. This lets us detect disasters long before they occur. We combine that insight with field data, ground source of truth, advanced climate models, and on-chain smart contracts that make transactions verifiable, users identifiable, and payouts automatic when trigger conditions are met. Our insurance policies run entirely on the blockchain, eliminating disputes and delays. This architecture gives insurance companies three major advantages: speed, transparency, and interoperability. With our plug and play API and dashboard, banks and insurance companies gain instant visibilities into farms like Mosa, helping them see Mosa's historical data, new data. They can also automate on the risk scoring and claims in one seamless flow. We also help our insurance is reach customers directly through our enterprise web dashboard. And with our proprietary trademark AI WhatsApp bots, insurance companies can sell their products directly to users via WhatsApp. Users can map their farms, analyze risk, make payments, check balances, get instant insurance, ask questions, and receive guidance without ever leaving WhatsApp. So, comprehensive risk management from top to bottom. We are a core team of 3 with over 30 years of combined experience in finance, blockchain, and business. I'm a two-time founder. I have a master's in business from the University of Utah, United States, and we are well positioned and well experienced. And we're ready to help insurance companies in this ecosystem reach the last mile user, giving farmers like Musa the fighting chance against climate risk, helping him protect his assets, and providing a safety net for farmers like Musa when climate risk occurs. We are backed by some notable global partners like MasterCard, UNDP, Agra, FSD Africa, Stella, and the Draper University. We know that we have a couple of partners in the room I would like to work with. So if that sounds like you, we'd love to connect. Simply scan the URL code and we'll get the conversations going. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Israel. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation and pitch. Thank you very much. So does anyone that has any question? We can take a two. Okay. Witness. Okay. Israel, you can hear me clearly, right? You can hear me clearly, right? Can you hear me, Israel?
Sorry, I can barely hear you. I think your voice isolation might be turned on. I can't hear so much.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Thank you very much, sir. So your name and...
Hi, Peter. Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you.
All right, my name is... Hello? Okay. My name is Zeno Afigbe with EFINA, Enhancing Financial Inclusion and Advancement. And thank you very much, Riwe. Very fine presentation. I have two questions. The first one is, you indicated that your tech is capable of seeing disasters long before they occur. So I'm curious to understand how that works, because climate change is upon us. The patterns for weather are highly unpredictable, but if you have the tech that can do this, that would be very encouraging, especially in the agriculture sector. Second question, I love the example of the persona Musa in Kano. I'm curious, how do you get to the Musas and the Rallias where they are? How do you locate them so that you can find them and then extend these solutions to them? Because there is a significant infrastructure challenge in the country. You cannot have tech where there is no infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Israel, you can just go ahead to answer that. Or you want me to take the second one first?
Okay, let me answer this, then I'll take the other one.
Okay.
So I can.
Please go ahead.
Sorry. So I'll go ahead. Thank you for that question. So first, my first degree is in bioresources engineering. My first degree is in bioresources engineering. So I have proficiency in GIS and spatial analysis, and also remote sensing technologies as well. So everything comes down to mathematical modeling, and we're in the advent of AI, right, machine learning. So what this means is that we can collect historical data of 20, 30, 40 years. We can simulate patterns, and we can be able to deduce or predict what will happen, right? Because predictions are about data, analyzing data, and making predictions on data, basically. So by collecting data and by understanding trends and patterns over the years and over months, recent months, we can model risk and predict what kind of disaster will happen in the coming months, whether it is sporadic rainfall or drought. We can model it to a degree of accuracy, right? That is what we provide. Now, to your second question, how do we get to farmers like Musa? Accessibility is a major challenge for farmers like Musa who live in rural communities. So farmers like Musa, the battle with one, low literacy, the battle with internet connectivity, the battle with financial divide, and most of these farmers also, you can't they can't verify who they are or who they are. So there is the data gap, and there is also the identity as well, right? So we've been able to create an ecosystem or an infrastructure that merges all of these insights into simple, scalable infrastructure. So now this is how it works. For farmers like Musa, we have several ways of reaching farmers like Musa. Farmers like Musa can reach us through our toll-free numbers via WhatsApp. In our experience, WhatsApp has proven to be very efficient. Give me a second to go back to that slide. So in our experience, WhatsApp has proven to be very efficient. In every farming cluster, you are bound to find. Sorry, I'm getting an echo. That's why I'm kind of breaking. In every farming cluster, you are bound to find someone who has a smartphone and is able to walk the community through the processes, right? So in cluster E, which is usually composed of 20 farmers, there is always usually 2 or 3 persons that have a smartphone. So these farmers use their smartphones to get insurance for other people, make payments, and also help them navigate the process. Our insurance onboarding is very seamless, right? So by simply snapping a picture, we can extract the metadata of that location and pull out necessary data about that farmland. So this is the logistical cost of insurance companies having to go to the farms to collect the data. So by a simple snapping of a picture, we can get the location of that farm, or by using WhatsApp's native location feature, extract users' location. So this makes access very easy for farmers like Musa, who live in cities and who don't have access to these services. I'm getting a feedback, so I'm not very sure if I'm on over there.
Thank you very much, Israel, for that. We have another question. Yes, sir, you can go ahead. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you
Your
very
name
much.
and thank you very much.
She goes from Rewe. Am I right?
Yes.
I want to thank you for the wonderful presentation you made. But I want to know, what is the degree of reliability of the statistics you have in agri insurance? Because you said you can foresee.
Sorry to cut it short, but the voice is very faint, please.
Sorry. Okay, thank you very much. I think I'm now audible enough. What I'm asking is the degree of, your statistics or the reliability percentage on your statistics for agricultural insurance. The first person that asked you question mentioned the fact that you have a lot of challenges. But now, I want to ask you, you are not in Nigeria, for instance, and you have used Google Map to look at places and make some forecasts. In practice, in practical reality, some of these things are not the way you see them on Google Map unless you have forward operating bases in those areas where you can gather your statistics. It will be difficult for anybody to rely on them to make any accurate premium rating. For instance, let me give you an instance. At the River Niger, there's a particular area called Orash River. There are some farmers who are inundated, who have this perennial problem of either flooding, insecurity. The farmers are attacked. So I don't know whether you have, because what is important in information gathering and statistics presentation is the level of contact. If you have a forward operating base in some of these areas to come up, because at the end of the day, the insurance company that engages your statistical information has to synthesize them and then do a kind of proofreading to see how they can rely on it to give a quote for a prospect. That is number one on the level of reliability on your statistics. Secondly, in what we have in the Nigerian insurance industry, what we are doing today that brings in your own pitching or you bring your own presentation is such that will go a long way in defining and giving more robust understanding of agricultural insurance. Most of the underwriters are very very apprehensive of doing certain agricultural policies because of the vulnerabilities and the uncertainties that play out at the end of the day. So you will go back to the drawing table, prepare not just a manual. We need to have an hands on deck, and people in the areas, like I said, forward operating bases that will help you gather accurate information to enable the Nigerian underwriters to do something very meaningful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Israel,
Thank you. Thank you for that.
just 2 minutes, please, Israel. Just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you. So I have a comment. The first comment is that we can't solve every problem. You mentioned insecurity. We can't solve that. So now to the other thing that I pointed out, we are we are an insurtech, right? But we have deep roots in communities. So that means we cover end to end in agriculture, from pre-planting, post-planting, and the whole agricultural value chain. So we have boots on ground. We have deep agent networks in these communities, and we've spent the past couple of years collecting data, right? So we're not just tech-based, right? Now, to also answer the question that you asked about reliability of data, based on our understanding, a lot of people who do these things use basically open source models, which are limited and generic, right? And people just don't go for the real thing. Most people who buy themselves as satellite providers only can provide you with 30 meters depth of satellite imagery, which cannot give you accurate boundary measurements of any farm. But we have an MOU with cost satellite providers, right? This allows us to get Sentinel-2 data as compared to more providers who use Landsat, which is outdated. So we can get accuracy of up to 10 meters depth, which allows us to visualize field boundaries. And with this, we can get accurate data about any farm, anywhere, at any time, right? And that is what differentiates us from a lot of providers in Africa and in Nigeria, right? And also, in terms of reliability, before we work with any insurance company, we have a pilot phase where we do a reliability assessment with our models and with our infrastructure, and you see it work, then we scale it right from there. So while it is plug and play, there's a reliability assessment and quality assurance testing phase where we do a plug and play and you test it, pilots with probably like 50 or 100 farmers, and then we'll now scale it from there based on the results that you will see for yourself. So I believe this should have answered your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Israel, for that. Thank you very much. Can you give me a round of applause, please? Thank you very much, Israel. We'll just be going right into the next session. I would like to welcome Simpix. Can you give me a round of applause as it comes? It's physical. Thank you very much. Okay. So you have 9 minutes for the pitch and then 6 minutes for question and answer. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I stand on existing protocols. My name is Chidubem Shuku. I have my colleague here. Her name is Chidima, and we represent Spix. Can I have my slides up, please? So we are from Simfix. Simfix is a digital identity management company. While we wait for them to put up the slide, and we provide services around compliance and regulations for various markets, including the BFSI, which the insurance sector is one of them. And we play across Africa, the Middle East, Europe, to say the least. Today, we would like to present a central KYC solution that will prototype for the industry. That will prototype for the industry, and the solution seeks to tackle some of the key challenges that we've observed within the industry. Okay, so introducing eKYC 360 solution. It's pretty much a centralized database for KYC workflow. What makes it unique and different from probably the one every insurer here uses today is that there is centralized KYC database that exists within this infrastructure. And what it seeks to tackle are the gaps and pain points that exist today within the industry. In our interactions with various insurers, in the course of putting together the prototype, we found a couple of challenges and we've built around this to ensure that the challenges are tackled. One of the issues we noticed that is prevalent is fraud, especially from policyholders trying to game the system, so to speak. Now, the centralized KYC database tackles this by ensuring that when you register a policy today, you issue an ID to that policy. But that policy, that ID is pretty much within your own uh, company, so to speak. And the general one that's usually for motor insurance, I have it on my own insurance policy. There's no way for us to use that number to actually know whether this person has been verified, whether this person is in good standing within the industry. And that's what we are trying to solve today. So that going forward, please, next, can scroll up. Going forward, when you issue okay, so I've spoken a bit about the challenge we have. Don't know about these challenges. I just want to speak to how we are trying to solve this for the industry. So for us as Simfix, we want to ensure that when you issue a policy, the KYC is foolproof, and you ensure that not only have you verified that customer or that business that you're issuing a policy for, we want to ensure that every other player within the insurance space can rely on that information, hence the centralized KYC, so that when you issue a unique ID, okay, when you issue a unique ID for the policy that you have just generated, the next insurer can call against the database and find out that this person that owns this ID is a real person and they are alive and their information is verified. And if they have insured that asset, for example, if it's a car, if it's been insured before, you would now be able to know through the unique ID that this particular asset has been insured. And of course, it is not allowed for you to have double uh, insurance or double policies on a particular motor insurer. And for us, we have laid out what our core areas are, the core architecture, to ensure that it's cloud first, API driven, because we know that almost all insurers already have very matured IT infrastructure internally. So that it makes it easy, it becomes a plug and play, where we are relying on your already existing setups and investments to drive more value, not just for you, but for the industry. We know that as of today, the value that we have gotten is more or less like less than 10%, from the Nigerian population. And we want to be able to do more. We want to be able to deepen that market and create more value. And the way to do this is to ensure that we are able to issue policies very quickly in a way that meets regulation and in a way that we are ensuring growth for all the players within the space. For want of time, I'm going to skip a lot. I want to talk about. I want to talk about the go-to-market strategy for this. Now we know that within the insurance space, you already have KYC workflows and policies. But for this to work, we need to ensure that there's another policy that sticks to the centralized nature of this solution. Every insurer is expected to key in, because if insurer A adds to the blacklist, but insurer B doesn't add to the blacklist, a fraudulent person can game insurer A and insurer B wouldn't know, and that makes it difficult for us to now grow. But if we have a centralized way to ensure that all insurance players key into the database, nobody can game the system. We are communicating with each other, all tied into that unique identity number for each policy that we issue, whether it is individual or corporate policy. In the coming weeks, we'll discuss more on the phased implementation of this for want of time. But these are our measurable ROIs for this. We want to see fraud reduction. We want to see accelerated onboarding, especially for brokers and agents that are on ground. We want to see enhanced regulatory alignment. And of course, we want to restore the trust that the policyholders, the customers that we are all going after, we want them to trust us. We want them to have a transparent view of seeing what's happening within the industry. And then in terms of the commercial framework, we have a number of ways that we are looking to ensure that this is equitable for all players within the space. For want of time, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to hand over to my colleague who is the product owner for the KYC 360 solution, just to give us a little overview of the solution itself. Meanwhile, the MVP is live, so I guess the organizers will also be able to give access to panelists and members that are here post this event to play around with it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So it's just a tap through to see what the different stakeholders or the users of this solution would have. So we have the insurance agents in the field, and we have the brokers, we have the insurer themselves, and then we have the NIA officials portal. So for the insurance agents in the field, so let me call him Emeka. Emeka is an insurance agent in the market, and he needs to onboard the businessmen so that they can be issued policies. If, please, can you take it back a little bit? I want to talk about the tiers here because we have 3 tiers. This is determined by the sum insured or sum assured and the annual premium limits. So if the annual premium limit is less than 200,000 and the sum assured is about 1 million, less than 1 million, it automatically takes the tier 1 position. So Emeka is able to quickly go to tier 1 and use the OCR functionality to upload the NNI. And what happens is that the OCR extracts the information, making the manual onboarding faster. And then the verification of the NIN happens immediately. He is able to verify instantly and proceed to capture remaining details. What this does is that it fast tracks the onboarding process and enables the UIN, we call it the unique insurance number, generated from the NIA CDB, and also populates the NIA central database with the details of that policyholder or customer for traceability and transparency. So you can see that once he is done, he can proceed to go to the policy issuance place where he captures the details of the policy. He verifies the UIN that has been generated and says, oh, if this person has this policy already somewhere, or is this a new policy? Can we issue this policy to him? Eligibility check. That is done before he proceeds. So that is for the insurance agent's angle. It is similar to that of the broker as well. So I'm going to use the broker to show the process for the corporate KYC onboarding. Now, the CSC or the RC number could be available and be entered manually and verified. Or if it is the certificate or the document that is available, using the OCR functionality, the details can be extracted as well, verified, and whatever detail is existing on the platform will be auto-populated in the fields. This is to ensure accuracy as well. And at the same time, the directors would be auto-populated as well. If for any reason a director is to be changed or updated, there is an option to add another director and verify the details of that director. What happens when you preview and save this is that the director gets an activation mail to verify that he is in line with this, he's aware of this. The verification happens on the self-service portal where he verifies with his face, and then we proceed to submit this. For the corporate KYC, it requires additional checks, the PEP check, that's the politically exposed persons check, and the AML check, that's anti-money laundering check. The APIs are also plugged in such that once the verifications are done, the underwriters could trigger that. If it's okay, they can now proceed to issue the policies. Now, you can add other employees to a corporate entity and still generate UIN for them so that they can be linked or tied to that corporate policy for easy traceability and to avoid fraud. So that is it for the 2 use cases. Then on the NICOM's or NIA officials portal, the video is not here. I don't know if you can project it, please. You're able to see, you have to go to the link, please. You're able to see the policyholders' details, insurance, onboarded insurers on the dashboard, reports for auditing and fraud detection. So with that, the NIA has the visibility into the policyholders, into the work of the insurance companies, the brokers, to ensure that they are compliant to the regulations and the rules. Every NIN that is verified, identity that is verified, is updated in the CDB. And for every claim request, verification is done to return the response or the details of that policyholder in regard, and also the insurance activities with that policyholder. That is for the NIA perspective. So it gives an all-round, it's an all-round solution that gives the benefits, solves the problem for the NIA, solve the problem for the insurers, reinsurers, the agents, and the brokers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Simfix, for that. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful presentation. I wanted to say, why do you not use Simeon for as I wanted to say, why do you not use Simeon as the case study, but it's fine. Okay, so we'll just go right into the questions. I don't know if there's anybody that has questions for them. Simfix, anybody that has questions for. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Son Joshua Demo from ICO Insurance. Just to double check, so you are connected to the NIN government database, right? And the CAC. So anytime a customer supplies the information, you are checking against those databases. Okay, all right.
Thank you once again. I think in my first question, I forgot to say that my name is Dr. Sim Ozokeke, the Executive Chairman of Pure Bond Insurance Brokers Limited. But I'm here today to represent the President of NCRIB, Ekoma Ezibe, Mrs. My question, first of all, I want to appreciate what you guys have presented, Simfix. It looks very fantastic, because we may not have to walk all around looking for information or every day filling manual KYC. It makes it very seamless, as your name is Simfix. Now, the here is the guarantee, because I know that the data management policy in Nigeria is still not yet very, very tight or very, very strict. If one begins to throw about BVN, because I saw BVN as one of the things that should be shared. Specifically speaking, in Nigeria, recently we had this problem with group life assurance policy, where we talk about NIN, BVN submission as a prerequisite before one can be onboarded for group life assurance policy. But the question now is, our regulator, I think they saw the problems that could arise, because nobody could bear that kind of liability when somebody's money is swindled in 1 second because his BVN is open to the public. So the data content protection, the data protection policy, how have you people dealt with that? Or did you envisage that in preparing this beautiful KYC, eKYC stuff? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you want to take the questions now, or you wait for everything?
So,
you want to take it now? You answer the question now.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Well done for a wonderful presentation. Questions to ask here. To me, this is a very fantastic idea. It solves a lot of problems that we have as an industry. And my thoughts is that it should be driven as an industry-wide initiative rather than individual organizations came into this. But my question to you is this: the unique identification number you're talking about, is it to be generated for individuals, for insurance, by insurance transaction forever, or it's something you will generate per transactions? Is it similar to BVN, which is just one BVN that individuals do have for the rest of their life?
I think they should take this first. Okay, I think they should answer it. Yeah, take it first.
Okay. Am I audible? Enough? Okay. So those are very pertinent questions. I'll start from your question. In terms of data privacy and protection, Simfix is very, very particular about the way we handle data. That is because we play in the regulatory compliance space across all industries where we operate today, uh, both within the banking sector, within the telecommunication sector, across. We are very compliant in terms of data protection and data privacy for informations like this is very important to us. So all that has been taken into account in trying to prepare this. But then again, very important to add that the solution that we have just shown now will only work on a policy level because we need the buy-in of every insurer for it to work, not individuals deciding whether to buy in or not. So there has to be some change in the KYC regulatory framework within the industry for this to work so that all data protection policies can also be revised for these unique details that are involved. The concept of the UIN, the unique identity number, is more or less like similar to BVN, but for the insurance industry. So it's not a per transaction ID. It follows every individual, every corporate body, as far as they are, participating within the industry. So if you issue a UIN to a corporate today, that number stays with them. It doesn't change. It's as permanent as their RC number. Okay, and then for individuals as well, before you're adding an individual to a corporate UIN, that individual must have his own UIN, which is like a BVN as well, and it doesn't change. So that if you change places of employment tomorrow and all that, your identity still stays. And we are tying all your information to that profile so that what we are actually working with is the UIN. We are not constantly going to get your NIN and get your BVN when we already have the verified UIN that exists. So that if tomorrow an individual policyholder moves from insurer A to insurer B, it is the same UIN they're going to use. I hope that answers your question. Okay, somebody else answered. I think I've also answered the second question as well.
So one more question here.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm Fumi Ogunbi from Stanbic IBTC Insurance. Okay, so my question is in relation to the corporates. What is the size of the data sets that can be uploaded? Then, in relation to the fraud management, you mentioned that the solution will also address fraud cases. I would like you to just speak about how that is being done. Then also, when we have like a death case, are we able to record it on the platform so that other users are alerted or are aware that a claim has been initiated on that particular claimant? Thank you.
Let me speak to the.
Sorry, hold on. Just one question and we'll wrap it up. One more question and we'll wrap it up.
Thank you. I'm Kadirami from Rex. I have a duplicity of identifiers in your solution preview. And I agree with you, identity must be portable across all underwriters so we can know who's acting. That argument is correct and valid. But NICOM has said every individual NIN and every company must come with CAC. These IDs are globally portable. So having a secondary level identifier now means you are duplicating the same thing that NIN will do. My NIN does not change if I go from one underwriter to the other. So if you follow that, we don't need to duplicate. I'm just speaking to the designer as a product person. You understand my argument? Thank you.
All right, so I'll take that question first. So for you to exist as a policyholder, whether as corporate or individual, you must have your own identity. Your NIN must be valid, okay, before you can be issued a policy. Now, for you to also issue a corporate policy, there is ultimate beneficiary, that you must do KYC on. So the company is not a ghost. The company is also tied to individuals, human beings. Now, within the industry, we know that company shareholding changes. Okay, there's a lot of movement within the space. A company today might have 2 directors, and tomorrow they have 4 directors, and that also affects the corporate policies that they have. So tying the ownership of the policies to actual human beings that are responsible for it is the end goal of an enriched KYC system. That's why at the beginning I said this has to be a policy change from a regulatory standpoint, whereby when we take your NIN and we verify it, and we verify your BVN, because when we are paying out claims, we pay it out through BVN, right? We are not giving you through any other channel. We also verify how this claim is also going to come in, and we tie that to your identity. Now, that singular identity, as of today, based on some of the conversations we've had across the industry, we know that data protection and privacy, in fact, data confidentiality, so to speak, is very, very important. So being able to protect the end identities and information of who owns which policy, who is tied to what policy, also buttresses the need for a universal, unique identity for all policyholders, so that information can flow freely without one saying, "Oh, I have access to this person's records," and then tomorrow that person stops being my customer because I have access to that information, or because policy has mandated that I have this information. Because of that, I am now taking this customer over. We've had conversations and concerns in our interaction within the industry in trying to come up with this. And to maintain protection, privacy, and confidentiality, unique ID speaks to this, where you know that before someone is issued a unique ID, before this unique ID exists within the central KYC database, all verifications have already been done. And with that, you can now tie policies to that identity, whether on an individual level, hence the need for that. I don't know whether that addresses your question. I'll give to my colleague to take the first question about data.
Yes. I believe your question was regarding the documents that are captured and uploaded, the data size. So the solution has a configuration, and it also has a compression settings, compression, cropping settings. So currently our experience in the other industries is that they capture their documents and upload using whatever device they use, and the compression set or configuration compresses it to a particular size and yet maintains the quality of that document. So it reduces the size, but again, it maintains the quality that is required. So does that answer your question?
One more question, then.
And also, sorry, just to address the part of your question that talks about claims. When you pay out a claim, especially for someone that is deceased, you also update the profile so that when or if somebody else is also processing such claims for a deceased person, another insurer, they will also see that a claim has been made on this particular policy. Again, that is the whole essence of having a centralized database, so that if somebody even games the system, the person will be on the blacklist. So that if they come to you after defrauding insurer A and you're trying to do your KYC will indicate that this person is not only but the person is on a blacklist. That way you will be advised on how to proceed. Okay. Last question, please.
I'm talking on the issue of debt claim. This one of the only policy that allows you to have multiples is life assurance policy. So the person can be dead, and made a claim made on company A. They can go on and make claims other places where he had the same policy. It's only if the person did not die, just like that's the problem. One of the problems we had in life assurance in India, where somebody did not die and the claim was made that he's dead, and eventually it was found out. If such this kind of what do you call it, this scheme you have now, If you have this kind of scheme, it would have solved that problem of identifying somebody that did not die or somebody that died and is still alive. Thank you very much.
Last question.
Yeah. Thank you. My name is Jameson Favor from Name Insurance PLC. SimFix is a nice one, but I think so many events has actually taking place now, with especially with the help of NICOM, making a NIN and CSC, mandatory. So, which makes it easier for insurance industry, to get the data, the information from the client. So you coming up with this KYC with a different code, I think it's something that needs to be reviewed. That's number one. Then number two, I also observed that once a client upload, you said there's a consent that needs to be sent to a client on the application. So my question is, the consent that is going to the client, on which um, platform is it riding? Is it at simfix.com, or is it the insurance industry? Because, for instance, my agent decide to upload and needs to send a consent. So what um, technology are you guys going to use for the client to be sure that, yes, is the same insurance company I'm dealing with that is sending to get the consent for my uh, name? So those are the two things that I saw around this application. Thank you.
Right. Thanks for those questions. I will just shortly and briefly address it. Start with the second one. In terms of consent, the consent is given to you, the insurer. Okay. Um, we know that insurers have agents, okay, that are issuing policies, going to meet the customers where they are. It depends on what your workflow is as of today. Some insurers have digitalized workflow in terms of gaining consent. It's as simple as ticking a box, okay, that you give consent. Some people get signatures on physical form. The idea or the goal here is to improve the productivity. The turnaround time it takes to onboard that customer and get their consent is much better if it's digital than if it is manual with physical forms. But the consent is still given to you, the insurer, not to Simfix. Simfix is only providing you the avenue to capture that consent digitally as against manually. Okay. Then, secondly, in terms of NICOM requirements for NIN for all policyholders, we are only adding to what NICOM has said, which is why we said for us, there has to be a refinement or a policy in terms of what the KYC framework is for the industry. And this is because we want to be able to ensure not only the compliance, but data protection, privacy, and confidentiality of the information of the policyholder so that it can be interoperable. That information no longer only benefits you, it will now benefit everyone else in a way that it also doesn't cost you, the customer. That's the goal of having decentralized KYC solution. So that with the unique ID, you already have the identity of that person verified that this is a human being, not just numbers. So if you watch the workflow, as you input the NIN, verification is done. The link she's talking about is for a face match verification where you click and put your face and take a selfie. And it compares the image that we capture at that point to the image we have on the NIN database, just to confirm, like a second level confirmation, that the person that imputed this NIN number or gave this NIN number to the agent in the field is the same person verifying themselves through that link. So we are sure that not only is this the person that performed the action, we are sure that the person is alive and present. And we tie all those actions into the UIN so that tomorrow you no longer need to go back to start doing NIN verification again. You will call the UIN. So for UIN to be issued to any policyholder, there's a lineup of things that must be done that will also capture or include what the current NICOM regulation is around KYC enrichment. I don't know whether this addresses your question. So in addition to what, if NICOM has said do 1 to 100, we are saying do 1 to 1,000. That way you can grow faster. And then as you scale as an industry, this will not only be beneficial to you today, to be beneficial to you in 10 years. So the BVN is a perfect use case for the banking industry. And that's actually what we're trying to improve on for the insurance industry. Don't know whether that gives you better context to your question. Right, thanks.
Thank you very much, Simfix. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Item on the agenda. I also want to recognize all dignitaries. You're all welcome, MDs, CEOs, COOs, CTOs. You're all welcome to this gathering. Just next on our agenda, I'll be calling on the Honorable Treasurer, Chairman, Digital Innovation and Information, also the MD, CEO of Highco Insurance, Babatunde Fajemirokun, for his remark. I said remark. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, industry colleagues, and innovators. Please accept my apologies for joining late. I had a conflict that had informed the Secretariat. As we know, in the insurance business, as we model for every risk, but sometimes logistics will manage to surprise us like it has today. I owe a sincere debt of gratitude to the DG for stepping in and delivering my formal remarks so ably. I know she walked you through the data of our 2025 survey and also the history of the lab. It's important that I don't report these details. Instead, having missed the opening, I want to offer a single distinct thought on why we are actually here. We often mistake innovation for simply digitalizing what we should do. But true innovation in an industry as old as ours is not just about new technology. It is about a new psychology. And it is about shifting the Nigerian mindset from seeing insurance as a grudge purchase to seeing it as a vital safety net. We need to make the experience a lot simpler. And solutions like this that we've just seen make it a lot easier. As an MD of an insurance company with a large retail business, I can tell you for a fact that when we're asking customers for BVN, we lost business. And once it was revised to NIN, we retained the business. It's important that we have the collaboration with our regulator. I think as an industry, that collaboration is necessary if we're going to be moving from selling policies to selling trust. And the ideas we see today and have seen, I think there are about 2 ideas I believe have been presented, I'm not sure, will not just succeed because the code is clean or the app is fast. Success depends on the architecture of collaboration. I'm glad we have the NCRIB here, ably represented. Thank you, sir, for coming. And the magic happens only when the stability and the capital of the incumbents in this room merge with the agility and the hunger of the startups. If we try to do it alone, we remain stagnant. The industry is not new to innovation. We have NID, and we continue to expand on that. And we've seen what the implications have been. My president, I didn't see you there. If we try to do it alone, we remain stagnant. If we do it together, we do become unstoppable. This last presentation was quite exciting to see. As a business with a large retail business, I know for a fact that for us to be able to penetrate this segment, there's a need for us to move to this point of automation and simplicity in onboarding of our transaction. I am thrilled to be here to witness the collaboration. I want to thank our committee members, the NIA, the Secretariat, the DG, of course, our Governing Council, NICOM. Thank you all. And our MDs, executives, CTOs, CIOs, and everyone here present. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope that in addition to possible collaborations that we would achieve, perhaps there'll be some companies that would even be willing to fund some of these innovations. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, sir. Can we give a round of applause again? Thank you very much. So I'll just be calling Mrs. Ekoma Ezibe, President of NCIB, ably represented by Dr. Simon Ozo Okeke. We've heard his voice a couple of times. I'll just welcome you, sir, to give your remark for NCRIB. Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone here present. I want to acknowledge the presence of the chairman, NIA, who had just given us a very brilliant and exciting remarks, even though he said he was presented before now. I also want to thank and appreciate our regulator, represented by the Innovation Hub arm of NICOM. You're welcome, sir. The DG of NIA, I want to appreciate what you told us before and what also was read on your behalf by the Deputy DG. Am I right? Ebele Chukwunwachukwu. You represented, okay, thank you, the chair. Thank you so much. Colleagues, practitioners, ladies and gentlemen, I want to stand to confirm that the president of the Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, Mrs. Ekoma Ezibe, had every reason to be here, but for one reason, one cogent reason, in the line of her duties, after assuming office recently, she could not be here physically. So I came to represent her. But what I saw here today at this innovation hub, organized, prepared, and presented to the insurance industry by NIA is something that is worth appreciating with all that we have. Because for one good reason, we've been moving and shifting from the manual operations to the digital world, embracing all that has been coming, InsurTech, and all other in the digital world. But what is important about it is that it is going to provide a seamless operation for the insurance industry. It's going to provide a secured basis for analyzing risk, also storing of our data and comparing data within the industry. I know for sure, before now, some faces are just coming in now. I used to be part of the NIA when I was managing director of Central Insurance Company that later merged with Linkage Assurance PLC. So I am not very strange to NIA. This is my own home. That's where I started. And now I'm a broker. But the truth was that as at that time, there was this incidence of a man that insured a vehicle here at a very high value in Lagos and was on his way to Benin. And along Ore, he reported that was a fire outbreak and the vehicle was totally damaged, totally burned beyond recognition. And underwriters had no other way of finding out than sending a physical loss adjuster who went and did a very diligent job. He went to the nooks and crannies and people that are doing vulcanizers and mechanics and all other artisans along the way to discover and confirm that the vehicle in question that this man was pointing at his vehicle had been there about 15 years ago. And you can imagine what it would have been if that claim was paid based on what the pressure that was being mounted by the insured. But that is what technology has come to help us solve. That we don't need to spend more than a minute to see the veracity or otherwise of the claims. And finally, I want to say that the Innovation Hub created by NIA is coming at the right time. The NIRA was just released in August this year, and we are seeing some of the signs, some of the areas where this can help us understand and move the industry forward and make it very seamless and make people have more trust that what we have been selling before, people will now be looking for us to buy because we are selling solution. We are not creating any problem. And this is the position of NCRIB. I want to thank each and every one of us here and say once more, the organizers of this have done a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for that. Can we round of applause again for that? Okay, so just be going right into the panel session. And the topic of the discussion is building the infrastructure for a digitally enabled insurance industry. I'd just like to welcome Adedamola Oloko. I hope I got it this time. I'm so sorry to take it. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. Thank you very much.
You collect fine. Nikon is here. Collect your own. On behalf of your company. Sorry, sir. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much. We're going into the panel session and sorry. So you're going into the panel session, and just like you mentioned, we are looking at a very important topic, and it ties onto a lot of the conversation that we have been having so far, looking at the solutions that have been presented as well. Building the infrastructure for a digitally enabled insurance industry. I'll be moderating the conversation, and I'll be inviting this afternoon the panelists who will be joining me on this conversation in no particular order. I would like to invite Mrs. Rashidat Adebisi, the Chief Client Officer at Sam Ansad. I'd like to invite Mr. Lekon Oguntunde, who is Head of ICT at Sovereign Trust. Please let's appreciate him as he comes up. Thank you. Yes. Yes. He was one of our mentors and really appreciate your contribution. Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Adetola Adegbayi, who is chair of the NIRA 2025 Digitalization Working Group. Let's appreciate. And last but not the least, I'd like to invite Mr. Abel Adebayo, who heads IT at Sanlam Alliance. Thank you very much. So, let me. Okay, I'm sitting here. So this should be a very interesting conversation. Why? Because I'm subtly expecting some tables to be broken. Subtly, I'm not asking for it. but if you are led, I won't say, I don't know whether it's by spirit now. If you are led, you can. The insurance industry is, for me, I think we're at the critical point with NIRA and some of the indications as well from NICOM as regards digital compliance, the expectations around data standards, interoperability of our systems, and digital processes. One of the things that has then come about, and we remember when we were speaking earlier, we talked about the survey that was carried out. It's clear that there are some rails, some infrastructure, industry-based infrastructure that is still lacking, right? And those were sort of focus for the lab this year, the first edition. So this panel is going to be exploring some of the essential digital foundations that the industry must prioritize now, and how the NIA Innovation Lab and some of the other programs that are also running is advancing and should be advancing this vision of co-creating practical solutions that can help the industry. And yeah, I called you first, but it's not that I knew that I'll ask you this question first, but so the first question I want to ask is to Rashidat. So what does a digitally enabled insurance industry really look like, and why is it even critical at the moment?
Thank you very much. I mean, Damola says we should try not to shake tables, but he's not asking us to shake tables. So as an Ibadan girl, I take that as a clear instruction. And it's a very tough question you ask. What does a digitally enabled infrastructure look like? So because it doesn't exist in our country, and I don't think we can really take a parallel fully from the international market alone. I'll look at areas in our country where things have digitally worked. And perhaps maybe the easiest one that, if I look at the age range of most people in the room, will be, the mobile phones. And if we look at just barely 20 years ago, it was a luxury item. In fact, SIM cards were being sold. It was an exciting time to own about it as individuals. The only thing that really makes sense is to have the right infrastructure. But infrastructure doesn't come on its own. I think today we spoke to some people and said tech in itself can solve every problem of tech. But unfortunately for us, tech alone cannot make things work. Because if you are a patient and you eat food and your body cannot digest it and let it go through and perform all the duties, then you've lost the benefit of eating the food. And there are people who actually suffer and need to take medication to make sure that the drug can serve their body well. So if you think about the industry, yes, we must build the infrastructure. And the rails, Damola, you spoke about, is one of the things we're talking about here. But rails require certain things. The mindset has to be one of abundance and positivity. And I apologize, but I'm sorry. I don't think we have the mindset of abundance in the industry because everybody is in a territorial process. So for us to really get the benefit of it, we need to move beyond our territories. Because if you're just trying to be a protectionist person of your own business, of your own market, and you're not ready to share information and share data, then we cannot proceed. Then it means the market cannot scale. Because we're all just trying to keep the amount of money that is just ridiculous. 1.9 billion naira of revenues, 1.9 trillion naira revenues. This is the revenue that some of the smallest companies in some markets are delivering in a year. This is our entire market. That amount could triple overnight if we all collaborated differently. So this point of territorialism, we need to address it. And by just starting small, because sometimes change doesn't have to happen by you doing big things. Just doing a few things differently. So maybe my one challenge to all of us here and to all the leaders is let's make this change truly happen and take a few steps. The steps are open yourself up for change. We have to build rails around uniqueness of ID so that we can price, we can understand clients' behavior. We're also not problem focused, where what we have focused. We're giving clients what we can sell. We're not really addressing the client's needs either by not listening to how they want to be spoken to, or we're not addressing them and creating options for them. But it's improving, but we're not there. So things are slow. So the speed can be addressed in many ways. We can speed up ourselves. It's possible. Maybe a few companies are doing that. But that speed might not be the same level as when the whole market is changing. If we have a great market where everyone is benefiting from an exciting space, honestly, even the smallest companies will be doing exceedingly well. So if we can remove and create that abundance mindset, not a scarcity one, I think even from that aspect, we will be maybe to make a change. And to give other people time, maybe just, the last point for me would be just being curious to ask questions. And somebody said there's a level of curiosity that makes it a difference. And that is the curiosity I'm trying to get back. We all lost it as children. It's childlike curiosity. A child can ask you 60 questions. I don't know if you have any nieces or nephews. You answer them, they ask you again. When we were growing up, they'll say, stop asking questions. Don't talk back to your elders. So I think a lot of us have developed in that space by not just asking more questions. And by asking the questions of our clients, of our staff, of the experience of people, we start to find out things that would help us. So to really get this infrastructure to work, do we need it? Yes. But we need the people and processes to enhance the benefit of it. And we need you guys to log in. If the money is too much, let's say the money is much, can we start from somewhere? Rather than just stay in our space. And will it not have problems? It will have problems. But guess what? The best way to overcome it, when we started calling, there were problems. In fact, it was 1 minute. If you spoke for 10 seconds, it was 1 minute call, they will charge you. But now you can charge per second. So we're saying the future is bright, right? If we can only go through the challenges of today. So I'll sort of say to you in summary that infrastructure is essential. We need everybody here, and we need people to accelerate the speed for us. Let's not be shy. And sometimes we will stumble along the way, but let's just pick ourselves up and stand again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I want to ask you, Ebil, from your own perspective, I know she mentioned a few things in terms of infrastructure that we probably need. From your own perspective, you're on ground, you are leading tech, and engaging with some of these things, you are hit with the challenges sometimes. So what are some of the biggest infrastructure gaps for the industry, from your own view today?
Okay, thank you. So the answer actually came from the chairman's presentation. He said it's not all about architecture of hardware and the rest. Is architecture of collaboration. We can discuss from now till to tomorrow. If there's no pathway to collaborate, we'll still be saying the same thing all over and all over again. For instance, we have NICOM database, we have NIP, we have NID, we have ICO database, we have Salam database, data all across, but we just need to collaborate. So, looking at the insurance flow, number one from sales and distribution. For distribution, if you check the Indian market, they have a single platform for distribution online. It's called the Bima something, the website. So they distribute there, and it will manage your policy end to end. It even manages collection, manages claims. And after that, we move to KYC. KYC is the one that just got demoed now. And for KYC, if you check the banking industry in Nigeria, they have a single body that even manages everything. We have they have the NIBs. You connect to the NIBs portal as a banker or as a banking organization, you can access everything. You access the team, you access the NIBs, you access debiting, you access payment, you can do everything. So the expectation is for the industry to have something similar to that. I connect to NIA portal as an insurer, I can access all those different platforms, and they are done at the cheapest rate you can get. So yeah, okay, that's for sales and distribution. Then it comes to payment and collection. How do we collect? You see money point all over the place, 70 million agents. How do we collect premium? And again, how do we maintain policy? Then to claim settlement, do we still go through normal way of settling claims, or can this claim settlement be paid instantly, taking advantage of the banking APIs that we have? You apply through your phone, and it will do some little verification, and you are paid. So all this cycle, we need to look at it one by one as an industry and see where we play. But the best way to encourage the developers the different demo we have seen, they are in MVP state, that is viable products. If we don't encourage them by actually without subscribing to it, that idea, it will just wait for 1 month, 2 months, the idea might just go away. So the best way to actually encourage innovation is to partner with them, use their services, and they will start improving. We have Windows 95, Windows 97, Windows 2000 before Microsoft eventually lock everybody, all of us into all these 360, 360, and we are paying millions of dollars to them on annual basis. So we just need to support them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very interesting perspective. And next, I want to ask Mr. Adetola, from your own view, you're leading the NIRA Digital Working Group. I'm just wondering, looking at all of these gaps and things that have been mentioned, how are you thinking about this vis-a-vis, some of the potential impact on customer trust, customer satisfaction, and even the value to customers as well?
Thank you, Damola. Okay, first of all, in terms of the digital working group, one of the things we're meant to do is look at the gaps within the industry. The beauty of that, and I think one of our subcommittees would have probably reached out to you as well, the NIA Innovation Lab, to see how we can collaborate. One of the challenges we have in our markets is also a challenge that is borderline. We promote a lot of individualism and selfishness, but we don't promote enough of what we're talking about in terms of collaboration. And also we talk about the other, having to work with the individual, maybe system or infrastructure suppliers. We should all deal with this person or that company. But one of the challenges we have in the market is also a challenge of the fact that we don't collaborate enough within even the tech enterprise structure. Because we've noticed, and taking it back to what NIRA is trying to do, NIRA is also trying to encourage a market that is highly digitized, particularly from a regulatory perspective as well. So we are looking at a system where we have a regulatory enterprise resource platform. And a regulatory enterprise resource platform is also a foundational point for the industry itself to begin to look for an insurance enterprise resource platform, and perhaps to get those who are in different parts of insurance, whether you're looking at it from a production side, whether you're looking at it from a receipt side, which is a claim side, whether you're looking at it from a regulatory reporting side, because for an enterprise to be sustainable, there's also issues of governance. And issues of governance have to be attended to as well. Poor governance means, fine. Fine means your cancellation of license. Fine also on the revenue side means, customer disappointment, failure of the insurance companies and what have you. So to come up with a digitization of NIRA itself requires that we just do not look at revenue side, because a lot of what I hear in the market tends to talk more to the revenue side. It's also beginning to look at the claim side, and it's also beginning to look at the reporting side. If we can put this triangle together and we have a healthier insurance company, then we can now begin to talk about, product differentiation, where the tech people can then begin to create a more, should I say, individualized approach to differentiating between insurance companies. So the fundamental base is what is being looked at. The hygiene factors can be unified, then the nice to haves are really what would differentiate one insurance company from the other. So when we separate the fundamental, the foundational, which is, just basically governance structure, regulation, and then we take it to the hygiene, things that whether you are company A or company B, you're going to need the same things, losses, loss reporting, claims adjustments, claims payments, basic compulsory products, they are going to be similar. So all these similarities can be brought together under the banner of the NI. So perhaps, a resource platform that is centrally controlled might help insurance companies to thrive. And that's what we're seeing now. On the fundamental basis, you will even find that from the gap analysis that was done, we have 5 subcommittees that are looking at different things, and also collaborating. We have the financial inclusion working group, we have the compulsory insurance working group. So we have, the digital working group is more almost like a central. What the challenges are is that we still have insurance companies today that do not have even a basic system to work with. And that challenge also goes straight into the regulatory part of our industry as well. And the honest engagement is really to say that rather than us trying to offer modular or sectional solution, we bring the modular providers together with an enterprise platform provider so that everyone can then work in unison. And in doing that, we will then achieve, one of the beauty of NIRA is that it also sets a base for achievements in terms of requiring the regulator to have a service standard for a number of things. And once you begin to standardize service standards, it means you can program. And once you're able to program, it makes it easier for insurance industry practitioners, whether you're, an intermediary, whether you are, underwriting, whether you are a service provider in terms of losses and what have you, to be able, to plug into those platforms and do what is required. Another thing that NIRA is also trying to achieve, which the regulator is passionate about, is that knowing that the fundamental basis requires pillar support, is also trying to say that we need to find a way. It could also be collaboration with the College of Insurance or the Chartered Insurance Institute to come about an industry report that basically talks to digital, that captures the foundational and digital maturity of the insurance industry. So with that too, so you're getting the service level at one point, you're getting the later reporting at another point. It's showing that a staged approach to getting the Nigerian insurance industry fully digitized is required. And that approach is one of, and I've heard it across collaboration, but I'm going to say is one of enterprise resource platform that we need to build. Then taking it again further, that enterprise resource platform has a bit of a challenge. It's a capital challenge as well as a collaborative challenge. And one of that capital challenge is that the local developers that we have that are concentrating on only sectional parts of the insurance industry do not have enough to command the type of investments that they also need to command. If we then begin to look at digitizing the insurance industry, from even helping the local producers to come together and then support and fund them, will achieve the regulatory base, and the regulatory base will also encourage the industry itself to basically become, maybe to leapfrog and maybe to grow to digitize in a faster way. So I don't know, it's a cross section of different things that needs to come together. But one thing for sure, and what our group is trying to achieve, is really to help companies determine that fundamental platform and to stage how they're going to, from a governance structure, meet the requirements of those fundamental platform, whether centrally through the NIA, whether through the CIN, and then before now talking about what are the differentiating factors in terms of the products that they want to put into the market, and also to drive the to 6 trillion. This is said times three to drive the 6 trillion naira. Hopefully, dollar would not have tumbled again, because most of the time when you convert, Nigerian naira back to US dollar in terms of international measurement, you find that the insurance industry has not really moved at all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So Mr. Lekon, again, you are also you're in the field, right? Facing these tech challenges, and uh, my own question to you is around some of these initiatives, some of the things that you have seen, being a mentor in the program, some of the solutions that you've seen in the program, some of the things that have been discussed. How timely will you say these initiatives are in terms of all of the things that is happening now, and what should we be doing to ensure that we don't let this slip?
Uh, Thank you very much. If you say how timely, I will say should have done some years back, lagging behind. So timeliness is not the issue.
Okay.
But if we didn't plant, maybe let me use palm tree. 3 years ago, this is another year to start planting it. So I think the maturity level of insurance has gone beyond these small things that we are doing. But we have to start from somewhere. And if we start from here, I think it's like laying foundation for us to build a bigger thing. If you look at what is happening in insurance, we are not scratching the market because people hardly trust us. People don't believe in us. We are selling insurance. Nobody is trying to buy the insurance. And if you continue doing like that, it will just be like, and that's why we have all this competition here and there. Red ocean competition, people just pricing market. You say you can shake the way a bit, your guys are here. So what they people just what we see that we just have central pool that all of us are just struggling to pick from. We are not expanding the pie. And having this kind of innovation, I think it can lead to a lot of things. Reduce the fraud level, because if you know customer A, customer B, if you come to A and B and say, if the data is shared accordingly, you can easily pinpoint what is happening. You can do your statistics. Because when I see some statistics that's been coming from Nikon, from anywhere, a lot of double counting, what I'm writing, what ICO is writing, what everybody is writing, they will speak it one by one. And all this kind of thing, because we don't have any unique way of identifying our customers. And if you talk about timeliness, I would say we don't have option. We need to go all the way to make it happen. But we cannot do it alone. A lot of people have said this thing. It's a collaborative thing that we have to do. And that has to do with the leadership and all of us that we are following to. We must be deliberate about it. We must be determined. We must do it in a way that we want to move this industry forward. Somebody just talked about the little money we are making. Up to today, we are still talking about number of uninsured vehicles. Even with the introduction of NID, we still have a lot there. But all of us, we still keep on just struggling within that space. We need to see insurance that we are not doing the right thing. And the only way we can expand is through technology. No amount of agents you have, especially nowadays that we're having the Gen Z and all those other people. If you don't go through these means that they can trust you, they can be sure that they are doing things in the right way, they will still not do it with us. I think to answer your question straight, I think it's the right thing to be done now, even though we should have done it yesterday.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, we should have done it yesterday, and I get your point, right? I get your point. That's also a reason why I'm happy. We have the NIA Innovation Lab, right? And we're going on that journey. And maybe Rashida, from your own perspective, in terms of like the lab and what you've seen, you're involved on the behind the scenes, right? What must we sort of do next to sustain this collaboration that we are? Because one of the things that you see, at least from the program, was very intentional. collaboration, and that's why a lot of the innovators, one, they work with mentors. The other thing is that they actually visited insurance companies. Yeah, there are insurance companies here that did actually speak to this, and those are intentional, so that what you are building is actually solving a real problem. So I know that Abel and Lincoln can attest to some of the decks that you've probably seen. I can solve all the problems. But, so Rashida, what do we do next?
Hmm. Jam question. Unfortunately, I've not attempted jam. Maybe
You can
I'll
start now.
Nah. Yes, I'm starting to learn again all over because I think sometimes the cycle of growth is changing. Before people started work at the age of 25, they retire at the age of 60, and I have an European colleague whose father is 95. And the man, he started work at 25. He worked, I think, 60, he worked to like 60. And between 60 and 95, he has now lived longer than he first worked. You understand? Early as we're all having a healthier lifespan, we're going to keep learning and expanding our scope, and we have to keep relearning. So I think first of all is for all of us to accept that this is the right time. And to have everyone in the room, I think you need to give yourselves a round of applause. At least we are here. So I think we deserve to. I think there's no better time we've had a regulator who is not just talking, but is acting. A regulator is also setting up an innovation hub. None of us are perfect. We're all learning. And I think the moment we know that we're all learners, we should just take that as an impetus. And why? I think even if we have not had a child yet, you've seen children around. And when they first start to learn to walk, I'm sure if you've ever witnessed the disaster it is, they're constantly falling. So imagine if every mother said, please, I don't want my child to injure themselves, so don't let them be falling, right? The child will never learn how to walk. None of us ever stops a child from learning how from stopping from falling. We'll just scream at first. First few times, like, yeah. Then you realize that every time you scream, the child will cry. When you don't scream, the child will just stand up and, they'll dust it off. So we need to be in that mind zone of we will fall, we will stand up, and we will dust it off. And that's going to be required of everyone. So please don't expect perfection, but just that discipline of commitment is essential. When you're starting something new, some people that know me closely know I like Simon Sinek a lot, and I read his books, I follow his podcast, and he has something called the infinite game. And he says life is an infinite game. We're the one that sets just for ourselves. If you don't meet that target in December, that target can be met if you really look at it maybe in March. So maybe you set a March target for yourself in December. But guess what? You have another chance to start at it again. And they give an example that if you are in a place, where everybody just focus on creating a customer-obsessed outcome, honestly, you won't worry about whether your competition is number one today and you are number one tomorrow. You just constantly keep putting yourself to be better than where you were before. So what do we need from you? We need support. I think everybody has spoken to it, to work with the innovators. This is not about choice. If you are the leader, you lead in here. Because what we've seen before is that the leaders, they already have, I don't know if it's right. But the leaders, because you're already leading, you are comfortable in your lead. I'm sure we're leading in a tiny ocean. If all of us, we're all human beings, and I think we have value. Imagine if they kept paying us the same salary every year for the next 60 years. Like, we can't move forward. But we're basically doing that to our clients. We're not going out of our space to create value to our clients. Examples, and one is a table shaker. NICOM says minimum pricing is 5% for comprehensive motor insurance. We know it doesn't really make sense. Why? There are clients who have huge valued vehicles. They have multiple cars. They don't drive it at the same time every time. And then we have a client that has a Toyota Corolla and just drives it to work and uses it to do side hustle Uber. We're charging them exactly the same price. But rather than go to NICOM and justify and show the data points to NICOM that let us not charge the same price for this Toyota Corolla and this expensive Jeep, because I have the data, it's more profitable is this. Let's charge the big cars less and that goes on the road level. Do you know what we do? We just cut corner. Give the customer 4% or 3% real life money, and you will now give them a documentation of 5%. Are we crazy? And we think we're helping the customer to pay less. And the customer told me, Rashid, that I'm not going to insure with you because somebody else has given me something cheaper than you and giving me a documentation for 5%. But your industry is fraudulent. Goes back again to the trust issue. So beyond that, we have to think that why are we in this business? What is in it for us? What's our purpose? The purpose is just to make money. Maybe we should find another business, because the people that will end up making money in this business in the long run are those who are defining value. So even as we're working on all the initiatives, what is value? And how do we bring value to the table? Customer, what does value mean to you? We should observe the customers from afar, from near, ourselves, through other people, through behavioral scientists, because the value last year is not the value this year, and that's not going to be the value tomorrow. So we must create that discipline of investing in research, in learning that we're going to change, and creating a system that doesn't just change once, but can adapt in an agile manner. We can say it, but we must do it. And guess what? It's not about your age. It's just about your commitment, your passion, and how ready you are to learn, and learning from a 10-year-old, because some of the 10-year-olds will tell us what is happening better than we know. And the moment we can put all of this together, I'm extremely certain that change will happen. But guess what? If we continue to do the same thing, there will those who will be beyond us. And we are talking about, 6 trillion industry. This industry, if it doesn't grow like, if the industry by 2030, okay, no, let me say 2035, if the industry doesn't double 10 times, the industry will not be at the level it is today. So if you're not creating a business plan that shows that you're going to more than double by 2035, in 10 years' time, honestly, you are going to become a straggler in the industry. That's what it is. So you must be creating a business plan that says you do times 20. That cannot be normal. That's an exponential mindset. That is what the tech startups, that's what they teach themselves. That's how they work. And we're always happy when we grow 20% in the year. We just say, thank you, shareholder. We are going to give you 15 kobo dividend. So this is where we're going. And I'm sorry that I take a bit of time, but like you said, shake the table a bit. The bad of blood is very bad. I'm trying to work on it, but we have to just share to ourselves. But guess what? We're here. But let's start anyhow. Anyway, let's fall on the way. Let's stand up. Let's not give up, because it's in our hands. There's no savior coming from outside. We're the only ones that can save ourselves, and we have the capacity to do so. So thank you. I'll stop here.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, if you remember that I said shake table, forget it. So they are shaking on their own volition. So I know we are from the body or comments. Yes, or comments, but just two. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah. Thank you very much for the knowledge shared. One of the things.
Sorry, your introduction, your name.
My name is Shupo Shogelola. Okay. Now, one of the most important thing that you asked the first question, you said, what are the issues? One of the greatest problems, and that was mentioned by Abel, is actually database. For example, as we don't have information on the vehicles available in Nigeria. And I can tell you that the information we have is not absolute, is not correct. Because by the time you count the number of policies in each of the companies, that is, counting third party, comprehensive, and so on, you will see that the information we're using is already out of place. So we need to look at how to get those data together. And where is the sources of this data? We need to go back to vehicle registry and so many other. And I'm also thinking we may just need to collaborate with NIBS to get those information that is required. And also our design, when we're looking at digitalization, we need to app or whatever we're going to be using in such a way that when you give your name, your number, your name, you must collaborate with what has been registered. It must collaborate with what's on NIN. It must, so that not be able to keep giving it. Most people, when they're buying policy, is the agent's number you will see. You can have agent's number,
Yeah.
1,000 number. You will never be able to reach the owners or the actual people that these are areas we going forward. Let's look at such a way that we can get this together.
Thank you.
We're designing a product. We had to go to Crew in Manchester to get data to use for Nigerian market. There's a product we were trying to bring to the market, but until we got to Crew, and when we got to the way they got their data, they extracted our inherent problems here in order that same device. Because there, when they plug the device on the post, the device will not be removed. But here, if you plug the device, people will remove the device so that to reduce the premium they have to pay. So we got to think of how our inherent abilities, our incorporated into whatever design. Our people are fast thinking, our people are smart, but we got to look at how to navigate all these issues so that we get actual information. We got there and we got stuck at the point that we knew that our people will remove the device, use the car. It will not record that they have used the car. And then at the end of the day, you find out that you are shortchanging yourself. So they had to start designing a new thing for us to use in Nigeria so that we can beat those shortcuts. I can help. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think it's working.
I'm looking about things that can expand the Nigerian insurance market so that products will evolve from NIRA. If you tell me NIRA is a grand norm, but we have to work with it. We have to develop apps with it. And this is one of the beginning points for us to get it right in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's good.
Um, I think I would like to raise three things. One of which I wanted us in the room to also realize that the 5% we're going to look at tariff from a compulsory insurance point of view. And then because, for motor liability, people can also buy their own damage and the premium can be mixed together called comprehensive. So own damage plus liability comprehensive. The markets essentially went to the regulator to request for this increase for whatever reason possible. So maybe one of the things that we then need to do as a market is to come to an agreement as to whether we want to go along a deregulated pathway for discretionary products as against compulsory products. In fact, in some markets, they've also deregulated compulsory pricing of compulsory products, because what you pose as a liability on the road is different from what I pose as a liability on the road. And so therefore, no one is actually charging even a fixed rate for liability in developed countries. The latest one that actually dropped tariff, and it was published as well. Asian countries are beginning to drop tariff. Malaysia dropped tariff because you have to price liability also properly. A commercial bus driver A is different from a commercial or corporate bus driver, commercial bus driver B. A company with a fleet of vehicles in terms of liability posed by each of the vehicle is different from somebody who uses their vehicle every day. So these nuance points are really where we need to get to. But are we brave enough, to get there? Where the market is actually deregulated even for compulsory insurance, where, and again from the compulsory insurance working group, where the idea should be the maximum premium rather than the minimum premium, because, government still needs to regulate pricing so that the customers are not taken advantage of. So we start talking about maximum premium rather than minimum premium, then you can do what you like. The second point is on data. And, we have a lot of data within our market, but they're also not well coordinated and even outside the industry as well. One of the things that the digital working group is looking at, and, suggestion has, run across as well, is that whilst people are afraid to leave their BVM, but they're happy to leave their NIN, all of that is also being seen. Is to say that, can we create a mask for these more personal identity that is more like an insurance identity? So there are proposals for, having what you may call a national insurance identity. So with that national insurance identity, you can then begin to buy all sorts of insurance products and services. Once your national insurance identity is put in by company A or company B, it's the same identity. And, that can also manage fraud. So we're getting that kind of, governance structure for data as well to help improve data collection. The second part to that is that I think in our market, again, we're continuously focused on revenue and products. But we're not also looking at governance. Governance is one of the many points where an insurance industry can be sustained. And our governance structures tend to be quite poor. And even governance in terms of data. One of the gaps that, has been seen in our market as well is that companies create all these different products for competition between themselves, but these don't talk to each other. We don't have standardized APIs, so people are not even able to link easily. So the challenges of APIs, also come into play. Then the final point is, no, sorry, maybe I talked too much and I didn't jot down. Is on the what Mr. NCRIB. Sorry, can you, if you don't mind, can you please remind me summary? Your final points. Yes. Okay. So I've spoken to that. So essentially, the challenge is also a lot of companies have all these different apps, but they're not necessarily also talking to each other, which is really they're not consolidated. And, from a regulatory perspective as well, we're looking for all this how to create a bridge of all these different things where, the challenge that, Rashida is talking about as an industry. But what we're trying to do from a regulatory standpoint is to create, walkers. And, babies are walkers. You don't have to walk and be falling over. We're also in an insurance industry where there's a lot of, we have to also think about safety. And one of the things that we're trying to do with digitalization of NIRA is actually to create walkers, baby walkers, so that at least, when you use the walker, the child will even be excited. Oh, I can move, but it's the walker that is making the child move until the child now tries to move by its own. So I want to see NIRA as a walker for the industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's difficult to top the Walker points. Maybe to Mr. Shuk, suspect there's something on that in one of the pitch teams coming, but we'll see it. And I suspect there's something on that in one of the pitch teams coming, but we'll see it. And I think it will go beyond just one person issuing that identity. It's creating a framework and a standard that everybody can use. So that's the thinking. We're not trying to create a monopolistic environment, but create an environment that is standardized so that every company can work on it. But one of the things I've also seen from experience is that the employees in our companies need to understand the reason for these things. You see, one of the biggest issues we have, and even after we've had some sessions here, and I asked some employees in some companies, they said, our MD, they don't need to tell us all these things people are saying they are doing your meeting. And when we started trying to do innovation, and I'll go maybe to the earliest memories I have, it was probably further before then, but at least in 2015, when we started doing some things, some people just said, what are they doing? So what's special? I've been doing insurance for 20 years. Who are these people that are coming? To actually make the change, the first set of people we used to make the biggest changes in our company were just first-class graduates. Not because we thought they were just the smartest people, but we just felt we had a new set of people who were on fire, who were engaged. And when we did that, it made a big difference, but we also saw that it was creating silos. Some people say, is first class no more than us, have you? Who are the people making the money from them? Is it first class? And this is real. And in our organizations, we're trying to bring this new data team, this new team to help. But if we don't connect the dots to the existing team, we're going to be in trouble. And in some instances, we're going to be able to reskill the people we have in our companies, but we must make an effort. And the process of change needs to come from there, and they must own it. Because every time we did change that was not owned by the team, and they couldn't account for it, the change did not happen. And one example is that you will bring the new solution, and they will say, one problem is there. That one problem, they will explain the 16 things that problem, they will not move again. And and we will harass them, we'll fight. But in the end, you have to end up encouraging and creating a system that will just keep challenging itself because it's a process. So even in every organization that hopes to make a change, please be prepared. It's not going to be, they won't even tell you that we're not going to agree. In fact, they will be at every meeting and people will agree with you. You will just realize that things are not moving forward. And I'm just being honest with you. But it took some time. And then I had to learn that whenever any innovator came to our organization, and some of the people that are here might know, I might talk to you and get what you're saying, but I'll bring the team and say, go and talk to them and get what they're saying. I'll not tell the team, tell me what you think. I already know what the innovation is looking for. I think I know I have an idea of how we can help, but I want to see what they see. And sometimes they are looking for too much. They're just only making Gary and Eba, but they want to eat 16 course meal from the best hotel. It's a lie. We cannot get there because the company cannot pay for it. So you need to bring their reality down to say we can move from Eba to making Gary to make Eba and make some vegetable soup. So sometimes they bring too many requirements. And we need to get the discipline to go fundamental to what is needed. And that's what starts that data point. Data is there because if I cannot go and meet NICOM and NICOM cannot tell me how many customers we uniquely have in the whole industry, how can I compare myself to my industry? So if we don't get this foundation of identity right, and if there's nothing else you're able to do in your organization, if all you do is EKYC to start with, you need claims, by the way, but we'll stop there. But if you get that identity right, then you can truly compare how well you're doing. Then you can truly find out who is doing what is wrong. And someone talked about the agents putting their phone numbers there. If we create a unique number for every client, the agent is only trying to do what? Protect their turf. They want to make sure that you don't go and carry their clients. And they're just trying to meet their targets that we give them all the time and we keep increasing. And because we don't have anything to catch them out, they will do it. So we have to understand there's a reason for everything. And please explain to guys in your team and the team here at the Innovation Hub, all the innovators, they are available to come into your offices and engage further. So please, I'm just imploring you, in the end, if we don't have a better industry, we cannot be better companies. We will just become big players in a very, very tiny place.
Thank you. So, last words from
Okay.
Abel and Leko.
Okay, let me quickly just add this because if we start talking about data, we'll be here for so long. Data, I've been on data for several years, and insurance data to be precise. So I think we should pack data now. It's massive. So, so my advice to the lab, I would say every idea should be well documented. We should not just drop it here. It should be well documented. Technical documentation, business documentation, and the go-to-market documentation. And also the next one is for some of them that will be warehousing data. For organizations that are connected to foreign investors, there are some certifications that will be required. You can't just keep data without being a certified data software that can store data. So we should get them actually certified so that they won't get to the point of signing the contract and we throw them out. And also for each product, we must have a product to finish anything, everything at once. So you must break it down into the sprints or into releases. First 6 months, first 1 year, second year. So it should be clear.
Yeah.
It will also help you to manage your time on what to do. And the area where the industry will also help is in the area of pricing. For instance, for NIN verification now, if there's a way, for instance, I think Synfix,
Yes.
if there's a way the industry can help them negotiate in bulk, and then anybody that will subscribe can easily at the cheapest rates in the industry, because for most
It's not the first time that the industry will take this move. It's not the first time that the industry will take this move. I've been in the tech committee for long, and I've been in the tech committee for long, and then KYC, EKYC, data sharing. Even when we are building the NID, we built it in the way that people can submit claims, can share data. But we're always meeting break a roadblock. Why? Because people see the competitive edge. We are not seeing that as a collaborative tools. So we need to break that barrier. And the leadership here is very critical to that. We should see that you are just playing big company in a small environment. So if we want to expand, we want to make the industry grow, we have to try and drop that. The second point that he raised about people going to NIPS, yeah, even as a group of the CIO in the industry, we make that move. But if we are having this and it's from our own, I'm sure everybody will be ready to and willing to connect to you. But you must be ready to look at the data governance. Your data governance will be the security and some other things that can encourage those leadership to say, okay, now let my people do it. Those operatives, they are ready to do a lot of things, but if there's no directive, there's no guideline, there's no instruction, there's no support from the leadership, it's always a problem. So the leaders are here, we should change our mindset. We should see that we are building an industry that when we look back after retirement, we should be happy that the industry has grown to a certain level. Thank you very much.
Lekon. So yeah, I think we are here. So Lekon, Rashidat, Letola, Abel. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause once again. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. You should wait. Okay.
Thank you very much for that insightful session. We'll just be going straight to the awards. I'll just be calling on I'll call on Mrs. Yetunde Ilori, President of CIN, to give the award to Rashidat at ABC. So you can just move the award in. Thank you very much. A photographer. Okay. We can clap them up. Thank you. Yes. Okay. No, the photographer. Yes, just pictures. Thank you very much. And next, I'll be calling on Mr. Babatunde Fajemirokun to give the award to Aditola Adigbai. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much. I also like to call on Mr. Ahmad. You'll be awarding Mr. Abel Adebayo. Thank you very much. Also be calling on Dr. Simon Ozo, Okeke, to also award Mr. Lekon Oguntunde. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I also like to call on Mrs. Bola Odukale, DGCUNIA, to present to our moderator, Damola. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We can go to our seats now. Thank you very much. That was such an insightful session. I just want to recognize also our associate partners, EFINA. The meaning is Enhancing Financial Inclusion and Advancement. Okay, I think I should just wait for the pictures. Okay, I'll just go ahead. Mr. Zino Afegbe, Gender Center of Excellence Lead. Can you just Can we give him a round of applause, please? Thank you very much. And Nora Igwe, Program Manager. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, we have the last speech session of the day. I'm very excited for this particularly. Still the same rules, 9 minutes to pitch and then 6 minutes for question and answer. So I'll just be going right into it. I'll be calling on the first startup in this section. Let's give a round of applause for MyCover AI. MyCover AI. Thank you very much. Okay. So
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alexander, and I'm the co-founder and chief product officer for MyCover.ai. Our goal at MyCover.ai is simply to, build infrastructures that will power the adoption of insurance in Nigeria. Simply that, right? And this goal came from us trying to solve a problem, a niche problem in the auto insurance space, to sell insurance directly to consumers. And then we realized that the more you build to delight customers, the more you see the issues within the infrastructure. And that was when we made that decision, a big bet. This happened back in 2019, to solve the infrastructure problems instead, so that the next wave of insurtechs can then, fly as fast as they can. Today, we have insurance companies who leverage our infrastructure to distribute their products faster and cheaper. We also have our AI power solution, that helps them to streamline their claims process, both for pre-loss and post-loss, and then the end-to-end claims process. And we have some of our partners even in the room as well today. For today, I'll be speaking to us on one of this infrastructure called the Claim Exchange platform, which is simply a web-based platform and also an API-driven platform for those who decide to go the route. Can I have my slide up, please? Technology. Great. All right, I'll just go straight to page 4, slide 4, sorry. Slide 4, yeah. I'm just going to proceed because I have less than 9 minutes now. All right. Great. So, like I said, today I'll be showing us the Claim Exchange platform, which is simply a secure collaboration network for insurers, to facilitate faster, fairer, and fraud-free claims for customers. You all will agree with me today, and I'm going to make this session as relatable as possible because you all know this better than we do, as a company. You can agree with me today that if Alex come to you to underwrite an auto insurance, we all can agree that you don't have any insight as to Mr. Alex's past claim history as of today, outside of your technology and outside of your infrastructure. Secondly, if Mr. Alex reports a claim today, you have no way to tell if Mr. Alex is lodging the same claim with another insurer as of today. And the worst part of this is that this is something we also found out during one of our mentorship session and one of the office hours as well, that the entire subrogation process today in Nigeria is completely manual, completely. That is, if you need to do anything, you need to leverage on relationship with maybe a rep from another insurance company to do anything within the subrogation process, right? Now, started to solve with this Claim Exchange platform. Next slide, please. Next one. Next one. Yeah, you can leave it here. Thank you. So today, what we've built is at least starting from the basics. Like I think it was Madam Rashida that said this earlier. that we should start where we can, as against trying to build the end product from the start. So what we have today is a platform that can allow insurer A reports a claim or push a claim to a central database and get a real-time feedback on, first, if this claim or a claim has already been lodged on this vehicle with another insurer. Two, see if this customer has a high claim experience, in mind to the fact that we are not building anything without collaborating with, first, the people we are building it for, that is the industry, and two, checking for existing systems that we can tap into to make this platform more useful to everyone here. And one of them is the NID database, and of course some identity platforms, like we already know that will be collaborating with Seamless as well to get some of these things done. I'm just going to show us a quick demo of how the platform looks like. Can you swipe to, if I don't have that, I can just paint the picture as much as okay. Any log? Okay, no, this is not it. This is not it. All right, I'm just going to proceed, sorry, sake of time. So, like I said earlier, right, what we've built is a system, and this is how it works. I'm going to try as much as possible to paint it for you. If you decide today to use this application to interact and collaborate with other insurers, all you need is a unique identifier, either the NIN number, right? With this no-code solution, you can simply just create an account today, right? With this no-code solution, you can simply just create an account today, onboard your team members to the platform, and then every time you have a claim, you go in there and type in the plate number, and the system returns all that you need to see, including the customer's claim history. Now, we believe this is also useful to one of the challenges Madam Rashida raised earlier, which is pricing customers, right? So if I come to you today, by virtue of having access to this platform, you can tell how much of a good customer that I am, and then price me appropriately. And again, you don't need to do this manually, right? Now, part of you need to do this manually, right? Now, part of what we've also seen is that you have companies who actually don't have the technology, right? I'm trying to paint the picture as much as possible. We don't have the technology. That is, they can't go the API route. And even if they decide to use the platform, they don't have a way to even make the claim process seamless for the claims team and the customers. So what we also have internally, which is already an existing infrastructure that we have customers, that is partners who currently use that, is the third option I'm also going to present system, right? With this claim system, you can manage your entire claims experience for your customers in-house, end-to-end, and you don't need to tell your customers to download any mobile app. It's a completely web-based light application that can run on anywhere. I would have done a demo for that because it's also live. But what you see is that by just logging into our platform, you create a link, call it a post-loss or a pre-loss link, and embed that link anywhere. That is, you can embed it in your onboarding email. When a customer buys insurance on your platform, the email they get comes with that link embedded in a button telling them conduct your pre-loss inspection here, and they click that button, it takes them straight to conducting their inspection, and everything is powered by AI, free from fraud of any sort. Secondly, for case of claim, you have on your website, make your claim here, and you click that button, the technology gets activated, running on your web application, so you're not sending them to another application, right? Fully customized for your brand. I must say that fully customized for your brand without downloading any mobile app. The last part of this that I want to paint to us is the fact that, we have the team entirely domiciled in Nigeria. That is, you're not going to require a 6 months, period to make any change because everyone is here in Lagos. I have Dabere who is the PM and Kenneth as well. So that last part is for those who don't want to use the first two options. That is, you can leverage our platform today to even manage your claim. And by virtue of using that platform, it just submits directly to
the claim exchange portal, and you get feedback in real time. The next slide now. Can you just go back to the slide? I've tried as much as possible to paint the picture, but one thing you can see for the benefit for us as insurers is the fact that today you literally can then do business around claims without going deep blind, and you also can price customers appropriately without making any form of assumptions as well. And of course, for our industry, when you're able to pay claim, I see auto claim especially as a low-hanging fruit for us in delighting customers. When you get auto claims paid out in less than a minute or 30 minutes, chances are there that even the other types of product will also benefit from that. Go to the last, just so I can wait. So, like I said earlier, we have the entire team domiciled in Nigeria, and we are a team of insurance experts and technologists around. And our goal here really, is to get every leader seated here to ask us as much questions that you have, collaborate with us as much as you can, and then, of course, help as much as you can. This is also taking this opportunity to thank Mr. Abel, who was very, very helpful.
Comments? Okay.
All right. So I think the major, and we all then agree. We already submit reports or data to NID today. So what is needed more is to then add the claims information or claims data. I don't know whether to NID or to this platform. So I think the major work is around about doing that engagement with insurer to see the need for this and how you can actually help us manage our claims process better. So it would be good to see this come to life, and we'll be willing to engage further.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe just a question for me on the reporting, because in the process of looking for a central database, right, we need to have a regulatory view. We need to be able to have, because if the regulator starts to get the right level of information that they're looking for, then it reduces the burden on individuals. So what's sort of the level of the dashboarding and the review, as well as them being able to give people, the right permissions to see what we need them to see whilst managing, anonymized data sets, right? But getting the essence of what is required. How easy is this? How robust can your system work for both digitally mature companies, mid, low, no, and of course other connections through whether it's brokered or not? Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So as of today, the platform will serve both the NIA as an association, then serve the insurers, and then the regulators, of course. So you all have, you have your unique experience. And around data sharing, this is something that came up quite heavy during our sessions, right? What we are doing is that we have everything ready. Now, it is now the case of collaboration, like us, everyone here now telling us, okay, this is what we are willing to share. This is what we are not, open to sharing. And then we make that happen because we already have the system in place, right? And then secondly, we are not obviously going to share customer data. One thing that you see, if you see the other dashboard, that's the live one now, is that all you need to make a decision on a claim or a policy is what you get from this platform. However, the regulator will have a different view from an insurer. For instance, a regulator will see the customer's details, or not the customer, the provider details now, including the MDs, the claim reps, and everything. So they have almost like a 360 view of the entire system, while an insurer will have a view that is somewhat dual, and I will explain what I mean by that. So first is that you have a 360 view of policies that you have within your system, and then you have a limited view on policies from another insurer, so to say, because you know your customers. And what we are trying to do is to make that platform as seamless and as aligned to your existing infrastructure as possible.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you very much, Makowa AI, for that. Let's give them a round of applause. We're going to the final lap of the pitch, and we have Bonds. You're welcome. Thank you very much. So the same rule, 9 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, distinguished audience. My name is Favor Omana, co-founder at Bonds. Please, can we have the slide up? Let me begin with a story. We talked to a woman a few weeks ago. This woman had her car stuck in the mud during the flood, the rainy season. Actually, she had insurance, and her insurance claim was successful. But she didn't know this. There were no updates. She tried to engage her contact in the insurance company, but there was deafening silence. This silence cost her a lot of money. And of course, she was very, very mad at that silence. The insurance space has an engagement crisis. This is not just a technical problem. This is, in fact, a real issue affecting real customers every single day. Data remains fragmented across brokers, agents. Up to 80% of customers come through brokers. And so insurers are left with only basic KYC. Renewal reminders and claims updates often arrive late. Insurers lack visibility into delivery, acknowledgement, and engagement. And of course, there is communication obligation by NICOM. NIA 2025 mandates digital communication and acknowledgement. The gap is huge. The gap results to lost time, lost revenue, lost trust. Because when you have missed renewals, you have lost revenue. When you have slow claims updates, this leads to poor customer experience. And so you have churn and frustration. That's frustrated customers. And then because we have manual processes, you have really slow teams leading to rising operational pressure. Fragmented data means fragmented communication and then fragmented service. This is a really big problem, and Bonds is designed to solve this problem. We spoke to an insurer, and the insurer had 3 different sheets managed by 3 different teams. They had sales having one sheet, they had customer success having one sheet, and then we had brokers having very different records. And the interesting thing, or the sad thing, was that not a single team had a full picture of a customer. Why does this matter now? That's because expectations are changing. Bonds is set to solve this problem. This is exactly why we exist. We have worked with multiple industries, and the problem remains the same. Business have data, but they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the leverage to be able to engage all of this data into structured communication. And we see that the insurance space presents a clear opportunity for communication not to be just important, but also foundational to trust. Customer experience is the #1 innovation priority, and insurers cannot compete or comply without modern customer communication. And now communication and compliance are almost inseparable. Digital communication is now mandatory. Claims updates must be transparent, and with also audit trails that should be logged. So compliance or communication compliance is no longer optional, it's foundational. We know that the insurance industry is a huge market, $1.5 billion in annual premiums. Sadly, less than 1% market penetration. At Bonds, we're helping insurers to be able to leverage their data to be able to drive revenue and retention. And communication is the most scalable lever for industry-wide transformation. And every insurer must modernize communication to retain customers and also comply with NIA. Today's generation of customers, talking about millennials and Gen Z, especially Gen Z, reward good service with loyalty and word-of-mouth referrals. Today's customers expect insurers to be very proactive, to be helpful, to be contextual, and consistent. Insurers that communicate well will win today's generation. And now introducing Bonds. Bonds is a unified communication and engagement platform built for insurers. Like I said, we're helping you to be able to engage your customers compliantly, consistently, and also clearly. We help you aggregate data from multiple systems, automate workflows across onboarding, renewals, and claims, deliver multi-channel communication through SMS, WhatsApp, email, and in-app. We also help you track delivery, open rates, and acknowledgements, improve compliance, customer success, and operational efficiency. The summary here is that Bonds helps you send the right message to the right customer at the right time and through the right channel. Of course, we're built for the diversity of Nigeria's insurance ecosystem. We're able to serve insurers across motor insurance, health, life, travel, with value for broker-led distribution and also direct customer acquisition. Now, think of Bonds as a sort of engagement layer that is sitting across your existing systems. With Bonds, you are able to either upload data or we connect to your existing data sources. This is important for you to have a 360 view of your customer. And then you can be able to automate workflow across onboarding, renewals, claims, customer service. And then you can be able to engage your customers with a multi-channel messaging feature across SMS, WhatsApp, email, in-app. And you are also able to track delivery, open engagement, and acknowledgement rates, which is very useful to be able to comply with NIA. This is our core feature: unified engagement base, communication, AI-based timing tracking, real-time dashboards. All of these are necessary to be able to scale with insurers' operational and regulatory needs. What this means is that you're able to significantly reduce manual upload and also to be able to increase operational efficiency. Use cases. Like I said before, one of the problems we identified was that 80% of customers come through brokers, but insurers are mandated to be able to communicate to customers to be able to fully comply with NIRA standards. And so with Bonds, you are able to do compliance-driven communication to your customers. That is customers acquired through brokers, onboarding, claims, and renewals. The second use case will be value-added engagement for customers you acquire directly, perhaps through your communication channels or your marketing efforts. And so for vehicle insurance, for instance, you can be able to provide rainy season weather alerts, road safety or flood warnings. For health insurance, you can do milestone check-ins. For life insurance, preventive care alerts. All of these are proactive engagements that build trust, that build loyalty with customers. And then use case 3, that is, we're talking about total customer transformation, customer service transformation. This is our pilot deployment plan. It is a 4-pronged approach: data mapping, automation setup, workflow design, monitoring, and optimization. And then the pilot duration is 6 to 8 weeks. Our scaling strategy, we're going after the entire industry. We're eager for an industry-wide adoption. So we'll be working with the A and other relevant stakeholders to be able to achieve this. We've already enjoyed ecosystem validation. We have with partnerships like MTN, FinCrack, CoraPay, Intransact, NairaBet 501. We are backed and supported by Google, MTN, Baobab Network. And now we are asking you, particularly for insurers that are interested in winning in compliance and also in communication, we're asking you to come on board to co-design a NIRA compliant communication workflow, improve customer experience and operational efficiency, automate renewals, onboarding and claims, and validate impact through measurable pilot metrics. So if you're interested, please scan our QR code. And this is the team with such technical depth, which make us worthy partners for this solution. We all have combined expertise across operations, across engineering, across marketing. And finally, I'll close with this. Bonds means to make profit. So we invite you to come on board so that we can help you in your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We're just going into questions or comments. Anyone that has questions or comments can just signify. let's make profits. Okay, anybody? Okay, I think it's very straightforward. Or do you have any last thing to say? Peradventure. Oh,
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Sure.
So we just, from the Bonds team, we just really want to appreciate the NIA and the entire committee for setting this up. For us, we're really eager to deploy the solution. As Favor already mentioned, we already have clients in the banking industry and we've actually generated results for them. Some of those results include, for one of our fintech clients, we're able to grow their customer activation rates by over 200%, just leveraging our solution. So we're eager to work with you, the insurance industry, to actually drive those results as well. Majority of the communication tools today is all about sending messages. No one tracks how are those messages resulting into affecting your bottom line. You're just interested in open rates, click rates. No, but is it resulting into insurance renewals? Is it resulting into premium payments? And that's exactly how we stand out. So looking forward to collaborating with the insurance industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we've come to the end of the pitch session. I believe we took notes of those companies. We had Reway, we had Simfix, we had MyCover AI, and we had Bonds. Okay, I'll just go straight to the closing remarks and appreciation. And this will be taken by Mr. Peter Adeyemo, Secretary of the Subcommittee, NIA Innovation Lab. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Without further ado, I'm just going to run through what I'm supposed to do without wasting time. I'm going to be starting with the startups. We have 4 of them. Probably their representatives all the same. Simfix, Realway, MyCover.ai, and Bonds. Please come forward. Please let's appreciate them as they come forward. Innovators. I know it's been an interesting journey, a 6-week, journey. Please come forward. You're supposed to be presented with awards just to appreciate the rigorous training engagements we've had in the past 6 weeks. And I'm going to be inviting Mrs. Yetunde Lori, the president of CII, to please step forward to come and present these awards to the innovators. Please let's celebrate the president as she comes forward. Thank you, Ma.
Sorry, I thought I was going to miss this opportunity. I didn't talk all the while because I thought I would have opportunity to speak. But I would say, as the Lord will have it, I've been called to do this. I want to say congratulations to the Nigerian Insurance Association for this beautiful session that you have put together. For me, as the president of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, it gives insurance hope. You know, people often accuse us that we are not open to other fields. But sitting down there and listening to all of you, was sort of encouraged to say, even if at the very top, we are seen by regulation and law as not open. You know, the way the NIA has subtly put all of you together means that our gate is open unto you. And I can only say to you, the limits, you are the one that can just set the limits for yourself. Is that okay? So you're welcome. And I'm also aware of the current InsurTech guidelines. Honestly, it shouldn't be something that will stand between you and the insurance industry as an obstacle. What exams are we writing? Honestly, in no time you can clear it.
Yes, you may want to take group photographs. Uh, thank you, Madam President. Next, I'm going to so the innovation lab took 6 weeks, and we had judges and mentors, to help train, expose our innovators to different aspects of what their products, would look like when it's launched as they are in the market. For the mentors, we have Adeyinka Aderombe, Chief Digital Information Officer for Rex Insurance. Are you in the house, please? Oh, please, Mr. Aderobi, please step forward. Please, let's give Mr. Aderobi a round of applause. He is one of the mentors we have for the startups, and he did excellently well, in training, pushing the innovators and everything he has done, to contribute to the success of the 2025 NIA Innovation Lab. And we have a package for you, Mr. Aderobi. Please step forward. This will be presented by my own Director General, the DG and CEO of the AI, Mrs. Bola Odukale. Please step forward, ma. Thank you, ma. And next will be Olubenga Akinlalu, Group Head Internal Audits Continental Re. Is he in the house, please? Next, we have Mr. Leko Ogun Tunde, the head of IT Subitus International. Next, we have Abel Adebayo, Group Head Information Technology Salam Alliance. We have Michael Ogunlade, Claims Salam Alliance. Thank you. Last but not least, we have Olu Sojo Shodimu, Chief Digital and Innovation Officer for HICO. Mr. Aderubu has double honors. Thank you, sir, for all you have done for the success of this 2025